Doupo, outstanding intelligence. Starting by joining the chat group. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 51, So Terrifying, The Poisonous Body. The person who took action was Mu Li, the young leader of the Wolf-Head mercenary group. Before, Mu Shi had been warning Mu Li to be careful of Xiao Fan and not to act rashly, which triggered his rebellious psychology. Mu Li felt that Xiao Fan was so young. How strong could he be? He didn't know what happened when he saved the bloody mercenary last time. After all, he didn't see Xiao Fan take action with his own eyes. In addition, Mu Li also coveted Xiaoxiao, and seeing the close relationship between Xiao Fan and Xiaoxiao, he was even more jealous. Under the dual psychological effect, Mu Li saw Xiao Fan with his back to him, so he wanted to take the opportunity to sneak attack and kill Xiao Fan, not only to prove himself to his father Mu Shi, but also to snatch Xiaoxiao away. However, Mu Li overestimated himself and underestimated Xiao Fan's strength. Sensing the attack behind him, Xiao Fan supported Xiaoxiao with his left hand, turned slightly to the side, and casually slapped with his right hand. Bang! The next second, Mu Li was directly slapped to the ground by Xiao Fan's palm power, and his body turned into meat paste. Crackle! On Mu Li's broken body, there was still a terrifying arc of lightning flashing, and soon there was a smell of burning. Seeing this scene, everyone present fell into silence instantly, and the shock in their hearts was difficult to calm down for a long time. Although Mu Li's strength was not strong, he was ranked among the best in Qingshan town. Xiao Fan actually slapped him into meat paste with a casual palm. This was too strong. Liar. After a while, Mu Shi was the first to react. Seeing his son being slapped into meat paste by Xiao Fan and turned into charcoal by lightning, Mu Shi's eyes suddenly turned red, and he couldn't help but screaming in pain. Come on, chop this kid into meat paste for me. At this time, Mu Shi no longer had the calm mentality before, and shouted directly to the people of the Wolf-Head mercenary group under his command. At the same time, he took the lead in killing Xiao Fan. Mu Shi had accumulated power in the Wolf-Head mercenary group for a long time. Although the members of the Wolf-Head mercenary group were full of fear of Xiao Fan, after hearing Mu Shi's order, they still besieged Xiao Fan. Thunder Palm. Xiao Fan didn't have much patience facing this group of minions. He shouted in his heart and slapped the people of the Wolf-Head mercenary group with his right hand. The next moment, a huge palm print flashing with purple lightning arcs suddenly appeared in the night sky, like a sky curtain, and quickly fell towards the people of the Wolf-Head mercenary group. Bang! Before the people of the Wolf-Head mercenary group could react, the terrifying thunder palm fell from the sky and directly covered them all. Boom! With a loud bang, the courtyard of Wanyaozhai was directly shaken by the terrifying giant palm to create a huge pit hundreds of meters deep. The bodies of the people of the Wolf-Head mercenary group were just buried in the huge pit. Xiaoxiao was about to faint due to the stimulation of the poison. Seeing Xiao Fan's godlike means, she couldn't help but reveal a strange light in her eyes. Xiao Fan's figure also left a deeper impression in her heart. Plop! Xiaoxiao, the owner of Wanyaozhai, was frightened when he saw this scene. His knees softened and he knelt down in front of Xiao Fan and Xiaoxiao. Mr. Xiaoxiao, I know I was wrong. I beg you to spare my life. I am willing to give you all the wealth of Wanyaozhai. After kneeling on the ground, Xiaoxiao directly begged for mercy from Xiao Fan and Xiaoxiao. Xiaoxiao had lived in Qingshan town for many years and naturally understood the situation of the Wolf-Head mercenary group. Mu Shi's strength was on par with him. Xiao Fan just casually killed Mu Shi and all the members of the Wolf-Head mercenary group he brought with him with a palm, and directly shook out a huge pit hundreds of meters deep on the ground. With such a terrifying strength, even if he used all his means, he would not have a chance to escape from Xiao Fan's hands. As for counterattack, he didn't even dare to think of it. Xiao Fan was about to slap Xiaoxiao to death, and suddenly he caught a glimpse of a ring on his hand. Take off the ring on your hand. Yes, I'll take it off for you. Xiaoxiao heard this and hurriedly agreed to speak out. and quickly took off the ring in his hand. Xiao Fan stretched out his hand and the ring fell into Xiao Fan's hand. Then Xiao Fan casually slapped Yao Yuanzhang and directly shook him into the huge pit hundreds of meters deep. Ah! Yao Yuanzhang screamed and soon there was no movement. All this is a long story. In fact, from Xiao Fan's arrival to the destruction of these mobs, it was just a matter of a moment. After Xiao Fan dealt with the people of the Wolf-Head mercenary group and Yao Yuanzhang, he looked at the little medical fairy on the side and frowned slightly. At this moment, Xiaoxiao had her eyes closed, her brows furrowed, and a strange rainbow color appeared on her cheeks. The body leaning on his shoulder couldn't help but tremble. This is the initial outbreak of the evil poison body, or it can't be considered an outbreak. But Xiaoxiao was temporarily out of control because she took a higher grade poison and was unable to absorb and refine it for a while. Sensing Xiaoxiao's situation, combined with his understanding of the original work and Xiao Fan's own understanding of the 7-colored poison sutra and the 10,000 poison sutra, he easily determined the reason for Xiaoxiao's current state. In Xiaoxiao's current state, the toxicity she unconsciously emits may cause people nearby to die from poison. However, Xiao Fan has mastered the 10,000 Poison Sutra, which is more advanced than the 7-colored Poison Sutra, and has also awakened the true dragon bloodline, so this toxicity can't do anything to him. After all, Xiaoxiao is still too weak now, and the influence of the toxicity is very limited. Xiao Fan looked at the situation around him, pondered for a moment, and directly put his arm around Xiaoxiao's waist and stepped into the air outside Qingshan town. Walking in the air is one of the signs of a Zong master. Xiao Fan took Xiaoxiao with him and flew out of Qingshan town in a moment, landing on an open space in the Monster Mountain range. Then, Xiao Fan put Xiaoxiao on a large flat rock, and he silently guarded on the side. More than an hour later, the colorful color on Xiaoxiao's face gradually faded. After a while, Xiaoxiao on the boulder slowly opened her eyes, her face full of bitterness. Suddenly, Xiaoxiao thought of Xiao Fan, and immediately looked around in panic. Xiaoxiao was worried that when she was unconscious, Xiao Fan was poisoned by the poison emanating from her body. Xiaoxiao remembered that before she fell into a coma, Xiao Fan was still supporting her. What's wrong? Xiao Fan looked at Xiaoxiao's panic and asked with a smile. Xiaoxiao looked at Xiao Fan's gentle smile, and her heart was immediately relieved, but she was still a little worried. Are you okay? The poison in my body just now. Xiao Fan smiled faintly. You forgot. I have also studied the 7-colored Poison Sutra, and my physique is quite special. This poison has no effect on me. That's good. Xiaoxiao heard this and was completely relieved. Xiao Fan pondered for a moment, and asked Xiaoxiao, if I'm not mistaken, your physique is also different from that of ordinary people. It is the evil poison body recorded in the 7-colored Poison Sutra, right? Swish. Xiaoxiao's face turned pale when she heard Xiao Fan's question. Chapter 52, Little Medical Fairy's Gratitude, and the Fighting Outside Wun City. Little Medical Fairy bit her lip, tears welling up in her eyes, and whispered, you know, will you hate me or even be afraid of me because of this? Xiao Fan reached out and flicked Little Medical Fairy's forehead. If I hated you, I would have ignored you just now. As for being afraid, do you think I look afraid? Upon hearing this, Little Medical Fairy's eyes suddenly brightened a little. Really? Then will you dare to eat the food I cook in the future? Xiao Fan blinked. How about, you make me a midnight snack now? I just killed someone and flew you for a distance, so I'm a little hungry. The tears in Little Medical Fairy's eyes had not dried yet, but a smile appeared on her face. As long as you dare to eat the food I cook, I will make it for you. Xiao Fan's mind moved slightly, and he took out some food and cooking utensils from the storage ring directly, looking at Little Medical Fairy with a smile. Look, I carry my stuff with me. Little Medical Fairy looked at Xiao Fan with a softer look. I'll make you something to eat right away. After that, Xiaoxiao started to make a fire and cook. Xiao Fan watched from the side, but did not stop her. He occasionally lent a hand to Xiaoxiao, and they looked very happy. Soon, Xiaoxiao prepared a delicious meal. Xiao Fan did not say anything polite and ate it all in front of Xiaoxiao. Xiaoxiao watched Xiao Fan eat the food she made. Her eyes were gentle, and her heart was full of emotion. After Xiao Fan finished eating, He used his fighting spirit to clean the cooking utensils and put them away again. Then he said to Xiaoxiao, "In fact, the poisonous body of the evil is not that terrible, and you don't have to have too much psychological burden. I have studied the Seven-Colored Poison Sutra before, and based on the Seven-Colored Poison Sutra, I deduced a method that can refine poisons to improve cultivation and perfectly control one's own toxicity. Just now when you were unconscious, I checked your physical condition, and combined with your physical condition, I made some changes. Now this method can be said to be tailor-made for you." While speaking, Xiao Fan's mind moved slightly, and through the system, the 10,000 Poison Sutra that he deduced and created was materialized into a scroll and handed it to Xiaoxiao. Xiaoxiao hesitated slightly, but still reached out to take the scroll handed by Xiao Fan, opened it and read it. Under the light of the fire, Xiaoxiao quickly read the 10,000 Poison Sutra roughly, and she found that this method was indeed very suitable for her practice. The little medical fairy held the scroll in her hand and looked up at Xiao Fan. The preciousness of this technique is probably comparable to the legendary heavenly grade techniques. It's so precious. Before the little medical fairy could finish, Xiao Fan interrupted her directly. "This technique is prepared for you. If you don't want it, wouldn't my efforts be in vain? If you really feel bad, you can give me some benefits after you have succeeded in your cultivation." "Thank you." The little medical fairy was silent for a while, but still accepted Xiao Fan's kindness and thanked him softly. "We are friends, aren't we?" Xiao Fan smiled slightly, and then said, "By the way, I got a storage ring from the master of Wanyao's High. You envied me for having a storage ring before, so this ring is for you to use. You can put all the elixirs and skills in the ring to avoid attracting other people's attention." Xiaoxiao reached out to take the ring, and with a slight movement of her mind, she took out all the things inside. "These items, as well as the gold coins I deposited with you before, are all yours, as the payment for my purchase of this ring." Xiao Fan nodded slightly. "No problem." After the voice fell, Xiao Fan's mind moved, and all the things that were originally in Yao Yuanshan's storage ring were put into his own ring. Xiaoxiao felt better when she saw Xiao Fan accept it. After all, she had taken too much advantage of Xiao Fan. "Let's go. First go back and destroy Wanyao's High and the Wolf-Head mercenary group, and then leave King Shan town." After putting the things away, Xiao Fan stood up and said to Xiaoxiao. Xiaoxiao hesitated for a moment, then continued, "In Wanyao's High, those who attacked me are now either dead or disabled. Since the others did not participate in this matter, let's spare them this time, okay?" Xiaoxiao had lived in Wanyao's High for a long time after all, and she still felt a little nostalgic. "I don't care, then let's go directly to the Wolf-Head mercenary group." Xiao Fan nodded slightly, agreeing to Xiaoxiao's request. "By the way, how did you know what happened in Wanyao's High?" Xiaoxiao suddenly thought of something and asked curiously. At that time, Xiaoxiao was already desperate in her heart, but she didn't expect Xiao Fan to arrive in time at the critical moment and save her like a destined son. Xiao Fan said, "Speaking of which, I have to thank the Blood Battle Mercenary Group. Their people suddenly found me and told me that the people of the Wolf-Head Mercenary Group and Wanyao's High were trying to find out about me through them, and seemed to be targeting me. So I planned to check it out, and happened to see you in danger." "I see." Xiaoxiao nodded slightly, and remembered the kindness of the Blood Battle Mercenary Group in her heart. While the two were talking, Xiao Fan and Xiaoxiao had already flown to the base of the Wolf-Head Mercenary Group. With a few moves, they completely destroyed the Wolf-Head Mercenary Group and took away the savings of the mercenary group. Afterwards, Xiao Fan took Xiaoxiao back to the inn. "I remember you said that if you want to travel around the Qi continent, why not start from Yun City as the first stop?" After returning to the inn, Xiao Fan smiled and invited Xiaoxiao. "Okay, I also want to see what kind of feng shui treasure land can cultivate a young Zong strong man like you, brother." Xiaoxiao hesitated for a moment, then nodded and agreed. Xiao Fan shrugged slightly. "My strength is all due to my own efforts, and has nothing to do with my family. My family currently thinks that I am still a Qi. Don't let them know for the time being when you meet them." Xiaoxiao smiled when she heard this. "Then what should I say about your cultivation level?" Xiao Fan said, 9-star Qi. I said 7-star Qi before I came out. I broke through 2 stars in 10 days, which is probably enough to surprise them. The two chatted for a while and then went to rest. While Xiao Fan and Xiaoxiao were resting peacefully, in Qingshan town, the destruction of Wanyao's high-end Langta mercenary group caused countless noises and new interests. Of course, Xiao Fan was too lazy to pay attention to these. The next morning, Xiao Fan briefly told Xiao Wu about Xiaoxiao and said that Xiaoxiao would also go to the Xiao family. Xiao Wu was even happier when she learned that Xiaoxiao was with her. After all, in this strange world, the person Xiao Wu was more familiar with was Xiao Fan and Xiaoxiao. After breakfast, Xiao Fan took the two girls out of Qingshan town first, and then took Xiao Jin and flew towards Wuden City. When passing the edge of the Magic Beast mountain range, Xiaoxiao also called her partner Blue Eagle. Xiao Fan saw that Blue Eagle was too slow, so he let it land on Xiao Jin's back to hurry on. Although Xiao Jin was a little reluctant, it had to obey Xiao Fan's orders. Xiao Jin is now a 7th level Magic Beast, and its speed is so fast that it has reached the outside of Wuden City in less than half a day. Xiao Fan found a secluded place outside Wuden City and let Xiao Jin land. Then he took Xiao Wu and Xiaoxiao and prepared to walk back to the Xiao family. Coincidentally, not far from where Xiao Jin landed, a fierce fight was going on. Xiao Fan glanced casually and found many familiar figures in it. Please recommend votes, 5-star praise, monthly tickets, rewards, and all data support. Thank you all for supporting this book. I wish you all make a fortune every day. Chapter 53, Oba Family Actions. Field. The two sides of the battle. One of them was led by the third elder of the Xiao family, as well as the housekeeper Mo, and a group of Xiao family members and guards. The other side was the people of the Oba family, one of the two major families in Wuden City. Seeing this, Xiao Fan couldn't help but frown slightly. It seemed that the Oba family jumped up again, thinking in his heart. Xiao Fan directly released Xiao Jin. Xiao Jin, go and deal with those guys. Xiao Jin and Xiao Fan had a telepathic connection, and easily understood Xiao Fan's meaning and knew the target to be hunted. Immediately, without hesitation, he flew towards the people of the Oba family. In an instant, a series of screams from the people of the Oba family rang out in the field, and after the screams, corpses were left all over the ground. Xiao Fan, it's you, third young master. When the Xiao family saw that the people of the Oba family were solved, they were about to thank the people who spoke up to help them, but they soon recognized Xiao Fan's identity and could not help but be surprised. Xiao Fan smiled faintly. Why, I've only been away from home for more than half a month. Don't you recognize me? Xiao Fan, this magic beast, is it your mount? The third elder was the first to react. He glanced at Xiao Jin next to him, and his eyes were filled with shock. The third elder himself was a 2-star great fighter. The people from the Oba family who intercepted him included a 3-star great fighter, another 1-star great fighter, and several fighters. Such a force is already very strong in Wuden City. The third elder did not expect that they were so easily solved by a magic beast sent by Xiao Fan. The strength of the magic beast was a bit too strong. More importantly, the magic beast listened to Xiao Fan's command. Xiao Fan nodded and said, yes. This is my magic beast partner Xiao Jin. What happened here? Why did you fight with the people from the Oba family? When the third elder heard Xiao Fan's question, he suppressed his shock and explained the whole story to Xiao Fan. It turned out that after Xiao Fan left the family to train outside, Xiao Yan's talent recovery gradually revealed itself. Moreover, Xiao Yan also worshipped a powerful alchemist as his teacher, and Xiao Yan himself became an alchemist, providing the Xiao family with a lot of low-level elixirs. Although they were only low-level elixirs, they were already very precious in Wuden City. With the help of these elixirs provided by Xiao Yan, the Xiao family's market share in Wuden City continued to grow. It didn't take long for them to squeeze out the business of the Oba family. The third elder said angrily, the Oba family, these bastards, can't compete with our Xiao family in the elixir business. And they secretly sent people to intercept the medicinal materials we transported to the family. If it weren't for you, Xiao Fan, who came in time, we would be in danger, and these medicinal materials would also be snatched away by the Oba family. After listening to the third elder story, Xiao Fan understood in his heart that it seemed that Xiao Yan was on the right track. What Xiao Fan didn't expect was that in the original novel, The Xiao family was competing with the Jiali family in the medicine business. Now that the Jiali family was destroyed, the Xiao family and the Oba family were fighting again. Perhaps this was a training target arranged by fate for the son of destiny? Is that so? Xiao Fan thought to himself, but his face was expressionless. I wonder if everyone can continue on their way now. I think it's better to rush back to the Xiao family as soon as possible and then recuperate. What do you think, third elder? The third elder nodded and said, you make sense. Immediately, the injured were simply bandaged, and a group of people escorted the medicinal materials back to the Xiao family. As for Xiao Xiao Fan let it fly into the air temporarily and move freely. Yuan City, Xiao family. In the study of the patriarch, when Xiao Zhan learned that the Oba family sent people to secretly intercept the Xiao family's team transporting medicinal materials, he was immediately furious and wanted to kill the Oba family immediately and completely destroy them. However, when Xiao Zhan learned that Xiao Fan had returned and had made a great contribution to the family, he immediately became excited again. Haha, good, you are worthy of being my son, Xiao Zhan reached out and patted Xiao Fan on the shoulder. Speaking excitedly, Xiao Fan casually said, it's just a small matter, not worth mentioning. You kid. Xiao Zhan thought Xiao Fan was bragging, pointed at him and cursed. At this time, the third elder said, clan leader, the Oba family is now desperate. Since they have attacked our Xiao family first, we can't just let it go. Xiao Fan's magic beast partner is extraordinary. Together with several great fighters in our family, perhaps the Oba family can be destroyed in one fell swoop. By then, our Xiao family will be able to dominate the entire Yuan city. Xiao Zhan pondered for a moment after hearing this, and then asked Xiao Fan, what is the strength of your magic beast? Xiao Fan shrugged slightly. Anyway, killing a great fighter is a piece of cake. Xiao Zhan glared at Xiao Fan and said unhappily, you seem to look down on great fighters. I, your father, am only a 5-star great fighter. Xiao Fan hurriedly said, I absolutely don't mean to look down on my father. Xiao Zhan snorted, and said to the third elder, this matter needs to be discussed with the first elder and the second elder before making a decision. The third elder said, I'll go find them now. The third elder almost couldn't come back this time. He had a deep grudge against the Oba family. After saying this, he hurried to find someone. Xiao Zhan shook his head slightly when he saw this, but did not stop him. After the third elder left, Xiao Zhan looked at Xiaoxiao and Xiao Wu beside Xiao Fan. Fanner, who are these two girls? Xiao Fan said, they are Xiaoxiao and Xiao Wu, my friends I made when I was training outside. Then, Xiao Fan said to Xiaoxiao and Xiao Wu, this is my father, and he is also the patriarch of the Xiao family. Hello, Uncle Xiao. Xiaoxiao and Xiao Wu greeted Xiao Zhan in unison. Well, hello. Xiao Zhan also responded happily. After the father and son chatted for a few more words, Xiao Fan took Xiaoxiao and Xiao Wu and left the patriarch's study and arranged a guest room for them in the Xiao family. Brother Xiao Fan, I heard that you went out and brought back 2 friends. Can you introduce them to Xuner? Xiao Fan had just arranged accommodation for Xiaoxiao and Xiao Wu, and was about to return to his room when a crisp voice suddenly came from behind him. Xiao Fan turned around and saw Xuner, who was looking at him with her arms around her shoulders and a resentful look on her face. Ahem. Xiao Fan felt a little guilty for some reason when he saw Xuner's resentful look. Sister Xuner wants to meet, of course. Then, Xiao Fan introduced the 3 girls to each other. You guys chat, I have something else to do, so I'll leave for a while, Xiao Fan said casually after introducing both parties, and then he left. In fact, Xiao Fan didn't have anything to do, he just didn't want to face the Shura field. After watching Xiao Fan leave, Xuner, Xiaoxiao and Xiao Wu retracted their gazes at the same time, and then looked at each other. My mentality is still not good, I need to practice more in the future, Xiao Fan muttered to himself, and out of boredom he immersed his consciousness in the Wanji chat group, wanting to see if there was any new news today, or if any useful items had been refreshed in the mall. Chapter 54, The Movements of Group Members. Yao Chen is dumbfounded. Xiao Fan quickly browsed the message records in the chat group and roughly understood the current movements of everyone in the chat group. In the Demon Revival world, Xiaoxiao has successfully connected with the people in the special department, but it seems that she still needs to undergo some assessment before she can officially join the special department. In the Tianqing Jiayuj world, Yan Lingjai is unusually diligent and is teaching the people in the village to practice martial arts. In the IP Man world, IP Man opened a martial arts hall to teach the people nearby to practice martial arts. In the Legend of the Condor Heroes world, Huang Rong actually went to the capital of the Jin Kingdom and prepared to rob the treasury of the Jin Kingdom. In the Legend of the Twin Dragons world, Wan Wan is on her way to Qinan City, preparing to go to Yanggong's treasure house according to Su Xiaoxiao's instructions. Qian Renxu and Zhu Yuanzhang are handling their own political affairs. Xiao Fan looked at the movements of everyone in the group, hesitated for a moment, and sent a message. Xiao Fan, at Ms. I am going to your world tonight to see the night view of Qinan City. Is it convenient for you? During the days when Xiao Fan, Xiaoxiao and Zhao Wu were picking spiritual herbs in the Warcraft Mountains, he occasionally chatted with everyone in the group. After a few days, and Xiao Fan became quite familiar with each other, and they also knew that Xiao Fan would occasionally visit the worlds of other group members, was actually quite curious about Xiao Fan, the owner of the chat group and the strongest member of the group. Seeing the message sent by Xiao Fan, S eyes lit up and she quickly responded, "As Xiao Fan, I naturally welcome the group owner to visit our world, but I am estimated to be more than 10 days away from Qian." The reason why I replied like this is because when someone in the group goes to the world where another group member is, they will appear near each other. Xiao Fan, it's a small problem. I will fly directly to Qinan City and take you with me. Wan Wan, wow, that's great. I'm waiting for the group master to come. Expectation. Xiao Fan, at Wan Wan, be normal. Don't let Su Xiaoxiao lead you astray. Picking nose. Su Xiaoxiao, I sense the call of the great group master, but group master, Wan Wan was not led astray by me. She is a witch. You should know that. Naughty. Wan Wan, at Su Xiaoxiao, don't talk nonsense. You have ruined her image in the group master's mind. Su Xiaoxiao, the group master also knows your witch image. Don't forget that the group master is also a time traveler. Sly smile. Yan Lingjai, at Xiao Fan, brother Xiao Fan, when will you come to our world to play again? Expectation. Xiao Fan, I'll tell you after I've been to Miss Wan Wan. Yan Lingjai, looking forward to it. Rubbing hands. Afterwards, others also invited Xiao Fan to play in their world. Xiao Fan responded briefly, then exited the chat interface and began to check the chat group mall. In addition to the items uploaded by group members, the mall refreshed 5 items as usual. Foundation building pill. This pill seems to be useful. Xiao Fan did not hold much hope for the items refreshed in the mall. He glanced at it casually and saw the introduction of the foundation building pill, which made him slightly interested. Foundation building pill, as the name suggests, is used to build the foundation and is suitable for any type of cultivator in the heavens and the worlds. Moreover, this pill has a mild medicinal property, and ordinary people who have not yet entered the cultivation can also take this pill to build the foundation. One foundation building pill, 8,000 points. This pill is still quite expensive for other group members. However, for Xiao Fan now, these points are nothing. After a little hesitation, Xiao Fan directly bought 10 foundation building pills. Xiao Fan planned to give one each to his 2 elder brothers and his 4th brother Xiao Yan, and one each to Zhao Xuner, Xiaoxiao, and Zhao Wu, and keep the remaining 4 for backup. As for those with higher cultivation, there was no need to use this kind of elixir. After buying the elixir, Xiao Fan directly withdrew his consciousness from the chat group, then left the room and headed towards the back mountain of the Xiao family. Not long after, Xiao Fan arrived at the back mountain of the Xiao family. There, an agile shadow jumped flexibly in the woods, and the dense thorns in the woods did not bring him any hindrance. This young man was undoubtedly the protagonist Xiao Yan of the original work. Xiao Fan did not deliberately hide his aura, so when he approached this place, he was discovered by Yao Chen and told Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan stopped practicing. A look of joy appeared on his face, and he jumped to Xiao Fan. "Third brother, you are back." Xiao Fan smiled and nodded. "Yes, I went out for a walk, and I came back because I missed home. I heard that you have made great contributions to the family in the past half a month." Xiao Yan touched his head. "Hee, I didn't do anything. I envy third brother, who is so powerful that he can travel outside without worry. Xiao Fan said, your talent has returned now, and you have the help of noble people. The speed of practice will not be slow, so there is no need to worry. Third brother, what noble person. Xiao Yan's heart skipped a beat when he heard Xiao Fan's words, and he asked carefully. I am, Xiao Fan said with a smile, which made Xiao Yan feel a little relieved. But at this time, Xiao Fan spoke again. However, besides me, there is another old gentleman who can help you more. Old gentleman, don't hide, otherwise I will not be polite. As he spoke, a purple arc of lightning appeared at the tip of Xiao Fan's finger, full of dangerous aura. Yao Chen hid in the bone flame ring, and when he sensed the aura of the lightning arc at Xiao Fan's fingertips, his eyelids twitched. In the past, Yao Chen would not have taken this little lightning arc to heart, but now Yao Chen only had his soul body left, and he was still very weak. If he was hit by Xiao Fan, even if his soul did not fly away, he would have to fall into a deep sleep again. Third brother, don't. Xiao Yan saw that Xiao Fan seemed to be ready to attack, and hurriedly dissuaded him. Xiao Fan did not say anything, but just looked at the bone flame ring steadily. Hey, little friend, why are you so aggressive? Seeing this, Yao Chen had no choice but to show up. Xiao Fan naturally knew Yao Chen's identity, but he pretended not to know him. Who are you? What is your purpose in staying with my fourth brother? Yao Chen said, I have absolutely no ill will towards Xiao Yan, and I also taught him how to practice and refine medicine, which is a great help to your Xiao family. As for my identity, on the one hand, Yao Chen was afraid of Xiao Fan's strength, and on the other hand, he did not want to break up with Xiao Fan and Miss Xiao Yan, a talented and well-behaved disciple, so he patiently told Xiao Fan what he had said to Xiao Yan. Of course, he concealed the fact that he let Xiao Yan resurrect him, and only said that he wanted to leave behind an excellent successor. After listening to him, Xiao Fan nodded slightly. I see, I hope what you said is true. As long as you don't do anything to hurt my fourth brother and the Xiao family, you can stay with him. After a pause, Xiao Fan continued. I gained some spiritual medicine during my training this time. I was planning to find an alchemist to help me refine it. Since you're a senior alchemist, I will ask you for help. Yao Chen smiled slightly. Refine medicine. It's a piece of cake. However, the next second, looking at the large number of spiritual medicines that Xiao Fan kept taking out, Yao Chen was stunned. Is this the spiritual medicine you mentioned? If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 55 Yao Chen's Shock. Xiao Fan's Plan. Again, if Yao Chen was in his prime, the spiritual medicine Xiao Fan brought out would not be difficult for him. But now Yao Chen is only in the soul state, and his soul is not very stable. It is unknown how much time it will take to refine so many spiritual medicines. He finally recovered some of his soul power, and I am afraid that he will lose a lot of it again. Xiao Fan said lightly, don't worry, I won't let you work hard for nothing. You are now a soul body, and the soul cultivation method should be of great use to you. I have a method that can cultivate the soul to the heavenly realm as a reward for you. The soul cultivation method that can cultivate to the heavenly realm. Yao Chen was surprised when he heard Xiao Fan's words, and the phantom of his soul couldn't help shaking. Xiao Fan said calmly, don't be too excited. This technique is of course not just a reward for this time. I may ask you to refine some pills in the future. After these pills are refined, Yanzi will keep a part and give the rest to my father. It's in your name. Of course, if you train Yanzi to a high enough level in advance, it can save you some effort. As he spoke, Xiao Fan's mind moved slightly, and through the system, he materialized the soul refining technique into a scroll and sent it to Yao Chen. Of course, Xiao Fan only gave Yao Chen the part that was cultivated to the heaven realm, and the rest was not materialized. Yao Chen took the scroll with his soul power and quickly browsed it. He soon found that this was really a cultivation technique that went straight to the heaven realm, which was many times better than the soul technique he practiced before. Do you know how precious the soul cultivation technique is? Just give it to me like this. After Yao Chen glanced through it roughly, he looked at Xiao Fan in disbelief. Xiao Fan said, "Of course I know how precious it is. In a sense, this technique is much more precious than the heaven-grade technique. I give it to you, not only for you to practice, but also for you to teach Yanzi to practice. Of course, if you feel bad, you can give me some techniques and fighting skills to make up for it." Yao Chen pondered for a while after hearing this, and then said, "I do have some techniques and fighting skills, but there are no thunder attributes." Xiao Fan smiled faintly. "It doesn't matter, I have a special physique, and practicing any attribute of techniques and fighting skills will not be affected." Yao Chen didn't say anything more after hearing this, and directly took out several fighting skills scrolls from the bone flame ring and handed them to Xiao Fan with his soul power. "Take a look first." "Thank you." Xiao Fan thanked him, and then took the fighting skills scrolls handed by Yao Chen and browsed and comprehended them directly. Under the influence of his heaven-defined comprehension, it didn't take long for Xiao Fan to comprehend the several fighting skills that Yao Chen took out and imprinted them in his memory. "I'll give it back to you." After he finished comprehending, Xiao Fan directly returned the scroll to Yao Chen. Yao Chen asked, "Can't you practice it?" Xiao Fan didn't answer this question, but casually asked, "Are there any other techniques or fighting skills?" Yao Chen thought that Xiao Fan admitted that he couldn't practice the previous fighting skills, so he took out a few more and gave them to Xiao Fan. After Xiao Fan comprehended, he returned them to Yao Chen again and continued to ask about new techniques and fighting skills. More than an hour later, Yao Chen, in his soul body, spread his hands and said with some regret, "I have shown you all my techniques and fighting skills. It seems that none of them are suitable for you to practice." Yao Chen provided quite a few techniques and fighting skills, such as the fire-blowing palm, 8 extreme collapse, flame-devouring wave ruler, Yuan Qi explosion technique, 8 extreme fire control, etc. Xiao Fan smiled and said, "You are wrong. I have comprehended all these techniques and fighting skills." "What? You have comprehended them all? How is this possible?" Yao Chen was immediately surprised and his face was full of disbelief when he heard this. Xiao Fan shrugged. "What's the point of me lying to you?" After a pause, Xiao Fan ignored the surprised Yao Chen and took out a foundation building pill and handed it to Xiao Yan. This pill is called the foundation building pill. It is specially used for beginners to build a foundation for cultivation. You take it. "Thank you, third brother." Xiao Yan took the pill and thanked Xiao Fan. Yao Chen came back to his senses when he heard Xiao Fan's words, and hurriedly said, "No, Xiao Fan, don't you know that with Xiao Yan's current level, he can't bear the power of the pill at all?" Xiao Fan said lightly, "That's just a problem with the pill. There won't be any problem with this pill. Xiao Yan, just take it directly." Yao Chen hurriedly said, "This is too risky. Can I take a look at this pill first?" When Xiao Yan heard what Yao Chen said, he couldn't help but look at Xiao Fan, with a look of embarrassment. Xiao Fan said indifferently, "Since your teacher wants to see it, let him see it." Xiao Yan said, "Teacher is also thinking about me. Please don't blame me, third brother." After that, Xiao Yan handed the foundation building pill to Yao Chen. Xiao Fan shook his head and said, "I'm not that stingy." Yao Chen took the foundation building pill and examined it carefully, and soon frowned. "What kind of pill is this? Why have I never seen it before?" The medicinal properties are somewhat similar to the foundation building spirit liquid I developed, but the effect is many times stronger, but it is very mild. "It's really strange." Xiao Fan said, "I got it by accident. Would I harm my own brother?" Yao Chen silently handed the pill to Xiao Yan. "This pill should be taken." Xiao Yan took the pill and swallowed it directly without any hesitation. Not long after, Xiao Yan's cultivation level was directly promoted from the 5th stage of Qi to the realm of a 1-star Deuce. At the same time, his body was greatly strengthened under the effect of the foundation building pill, and his cultivation aptitude was greatly improved. "What a magical elixir!" Yao Chen couldn't help but exclaimed at the changes in Xiao Yan. "Thank you, third brother." After a while, Xiao Yan opened his eyes and thanked Xiao Fan again. Xiao Fan smiled and said, "There's no need to be so formal between you and me. Well, you should get familiar with the new realm first. In addition, you can also ask your teacher to answer some of your doubts. I'll leave first." After that, without waiting for Xiao Yan to respond, Xiao Fan turned around and left. Yao Chen looked at Xiao Fan's departing back and said to Xiao Yan, "Your third brother is really not simple. I'm afraid he has a lot of secrets." Xiao Yan smiled freely. "Everyone has his own secrets, and you are no exception, aren't you?" Yao Chen nodded slightly. "You are right." Xiao Yan licked his lips and said with some expectation, "Teacher, you should tell me about soul cultivation. When will you teach me to practice this soul cultivation method that is comparable to the heaven-level cultivation method?" On the other side, after Xiao Fan and Xiao Yan parted, he did not return to his room, but entered the Xiao family's fighting skills pavilion. In the past, Xiao Fan had been to the fighting skills pavilion, but he only selected 1 or 2 fighting skills. This time, Xiao Fan was going to comprehend all the fighting skills of the Xiao family. Xiao Fan, who had an extraordinary understanding, found it easier to comprehend the skills than to eat and drink. After half a day, he had comprehended all the hundreds of fighting skills of the Xiao family. In addition, Xiao Fan also spent time comprehending the hundreds of fighting skills he had learned from the Xiao family. In the past, Xiao Fan thought that those fighting skills were too low level, and comprehending them was a waste of energy and time, and it was completely unnecessary. But now, after taking the Guan pill, Xiao Fan can already practice fighting skills of all attributes. Xiao Fan decided to comprehend all kinds of fighting skills thoroughly, and then integrate these fighting skills to create a completely own skill. It seems that it's time to destroy the Oba family. After comprehending all the fighting skills of the Xiao family and the Xiao family, Xiao Fan whispered and set his sights on the Oba family. Then, Xiao Fan walked directly to the study of the Xiao family head. These few chapters are the arrangements for the Xiao family and the planning of the protagonist's own path. He will soon leave the Xiao family and wander around. Chapter 56. Create a technique and head to the world of the twin dragons of the Tang dynasty. Dad, have you discussed with the 3 elders when to attack the Oba family? After finding Xiao Fan asked directly. Xiao said, 3 days later. What happened? The war between families is not just about starting. Usually some preparations are made in advance. Of course, except for emergencies. Xiao Fan said, if all the great fighters of the Oba family are dead, you should be able to move faster, right? Xiao raised his eyebrows when he heard this. Are you going to let your magic beast mount kill the great fighters of the Oba family? At this point, Xiao suddenly thought of something. Could it be that the Xiao family was destroyed by your magic beast mount before? Xiao Fan smiled and said, Dad, you are quite smart, but your reaction is a little slow. You kid. Xiao glared at Xiao Fan, and then said, if the Oba family has no great fighters, our Xiao family can destroy it at any time. Xiao Fan said, in that case, I will go and get rid of all the great fighters of the Oba family now, and you can just destroy the Oba family tonight. Xiao frowned and said, why are you so anxious suddenly? Xiao Fan shrugged slightly. The Oba family may have known that their people who were trying to intercept the Xiao family's medicinal materials team have been killed by us. If time is delayed for too long, who knows what will happen? It's settled. Just tell the 3 elders. After that, Xiao Fan turned around and left. This kid is getting more and more outrageous. Xiao looked at Xiao Fan's back and scolded him with a smile, and then asked someone to find the 3 elders. Because of Xiao Fan's existence, the attitude of the 3 elders of the Xiao family towards Xiao was not as bad as in the original book, especially the 3rd elder, who saw Xiao Jin killing 2 great fighting masters with his own eyes, dared not have any other thoughts. After the 3 people got the news from Xiao, although they complained, they still cooperated and started to act. On the other side, Xiao Fan had quietly sneaked into the Oba family. Xiao Fan's strength was many times stronger than that of the Oba family, not to mention that he had perfect stealth skills. Naturally, the people of the Oba family could not detect Xiao Fan's intrusion. After entering the Oba family, Xiao Fan quickly found several great fighting masters including Obapa, and asked Xiao Jin to swallow them all. This time, all the masters of the Oba family were killed, and even the corpses were not left. After dealing with the great fighting masters of the Oba family, Xiao Fan quickly sneaked into the fighting skills pavilion of the Oba family and directly put all the fighting skills into the ring. After doing all this, Xiao Fan returned to the Xiao family leisurely and went back to his room. This time, Xiao Fan did not directly destroy the entire Oba family, but planned to let the Xiao family members practice. After all, the prosperity of a family cannot rely on only one person. After returning to the room, Xiao Fan directly took out all the fighting skills of the Oba family and began to comprehend them. Under Xiao Fan's extraordinary understanding, he soon comprehended all these secrets of the skills. Before, I could only cultivate the thunder attribute, so the martial arts and fighting skills I cultivated were limited. Although I can now cultivate martial arts and fighting skills that use all attributes, it is not appropriate to cultivate too many and too diverse ones. It seems that it is time to create a martial arts method that is unique to me. After comprehending all the martial arts and fighting skills of the Oba family, Xiao Fan murmured to himself, and then began to study how to integrate the more than 1,000 martial arts and fighting skills he mastered to create a new martial arts method. You are somewhat dissatisfied with the martial arts you are practicing now, and want to integrate various different martial arts to create your own fighting martial arts. You began to deeply study the fighting martial arts such as Burning Art, Wrath of Thunder Art, Wind Scroll Art, Hurricane Art, and Mad Lion's Fury Art, and deduced the characteristics of martial arts with different attributes, trying to integrate them into one. Under the influence of your extraordinary understanding, you gradually got a clue. You are highly focused, and want to use this opportunity to achieve the goal of creating a unique technique. You suddenly realize that you combine dozens of techniques with different attributes, remove the dross and retain the essence, and deduce and create a primary heaven-level technique Thunder Emperor Ju that suits your own physique. Next is the fighting skills. You combine the blowing fire palm, thunder palm and other palm techniques to deduce and create the primary heaven-level fighting skill Thunder Emperor Palm. You combine to create the primary heaven-level fighting skill Thunder Emperor Fist. You created the primary heaven-level fighting skill Thunder Emperor Finger. This time, Xiao Fan spent more time on the deduction. After more than 2 hours, Xiao Fan finally came out of that state of enlightenment and created his own set of techniques and fighting skills. At first, Xiao Fan was still having a headache about naming the techniques, and suddenly he thought of Xiao Yan's last title in the original work, Yan Emperor. Xiao Fan suddenly had an idea and named all his techniques and fighting skills after Thunder Emperor, because the new skills that Xiao Fan deduced and created, although they integrated all attributes, were still mainly based on the thunder attribute. After all, the powerful attack power of the thunder attribute was recognized, and Xiao Fan was already used to using thunder attribute attacks. Next, upload all these skills to the chat group mall to exchange points. After creating his own skills, Xiao Fan's heart moved slightly, and he started uploading directly. Group member Xiao Fan uploaded the primary heavenly skill Thunder Emperor Ju, and received 1,000,000 points. Group member Xiao Fan uploaded the primary heavenly skill Thunder Emperor Palm, and received 100,000 points. Group member Xiao Fan uploaded. As Xiao Fan uploaded, a series of prompts suddenly appeared in the chat group. In addition to the skills that Xiao Fan uploaded for himself, there were also skills of the Xiao family and the Oba family, as well as some skills that he deduced based on the skills of the Xiao family and the Oba family. After this wave of operations, Xiao Fan's chat group points rose by more than 2,000,000 again. The main reason is that the original skills and fighting skills of the Xiao family and the Oba family are too low, and the points exchanged are really pitiful. As for the skills and fighting skills of the Jiali family, Xiao Fan has already exchanged them. At this moment, in the chat group, Huang Rong, Yan Linjai and other group members all received the chat group's prompt. Knowing that Xiao Fan uploaded so many skills and fighting skills at one time and obtained more than 2,000,000 points, everyone was agitated again. Yan Lingjai, at Xiao Fan, wow, brother Xiao Fan, have you found any treasure again? Uploading so many skills at once, it's amazing. Starry eyes, Huang Rong, at Xiao Fan, I really envy brother Xiao Fan. The points exchanged are always in the millions. I will be so happy when I can earn 100,000 points. Envy, Qian Renxu, it seems that some blind guy has provoked Master Xiao again and was killed by Master Xiao. Xiaoxiao, at Xiao Fan, the group leader is awesome. Hug your thighs, holding legs. Xianxian, more than 2,000,000 points. Are you serious? I want to hold your thighs too, holding legs. Wen, young Master Xiao really doesn't make a move, but once he does, he will reach a height that is hard for us to reach. Holding fists, Zhu Yuanzhang, seeing young Master Xiao's points skyrocketing every time, I can't help but want to empty the treasury. Heartbeat. After Xiao Fan created the skills and uploaded them to the chat group mall, he saw that it was getting late, so he planned to contact Xiaoxiao to sign into the world of the legend of the twin dragons of the Tang dynasty. As soon as he entered the chat interface, he saw the messages sent by everyone, and couldn't help but smile and shook his head. Xiao Fan, at Zhu Yuanzhang, Laju, don't be impulsive. If you empty the treasury, I'm afraid it won't be long before the world will be in chaos. Xiao Fan, at Yan Lingjai, I just took some skills from a small family, not a treasure. Zhu Yuanzhang, at Xiao Fan, thank you Mr. Xiao for reminding me, we are just talking, we dare not really do it. Xiaoxiao, at Xiao Fan, the wise and powerful group leader who is invincible in the world has appeared, kneel to welcome him. Kneel. Xiao Fan, at Xiaoxiao, stop it, let alone being invincible in the world, I am still far from being invincible in the world of fighting spirit. Spreading hands, Wan, at Xiao Fan, group leader, it's already night, are you coming over now? Looking forward to it. Xiaoxiao, at Wan, have you washed yourself clean, waiting for the group leader to come over and favor you? Smirk. Xiao Fan, at Wan, I'll go over now. Xiao Fan, at Xiaoxiao, don't go crazy, quickly get into the special department and find out the news, hurry up. Xiao Fan, at all members, I want to go to the world where Canaan is to take a look at the night view of Canaan City, you guys chat first. After saying that, without waiting for everyone's response, Xiao Fan directly exited the chat group interface, and then used the chat group's world shuttle function to go to the world of the legend of the twin dragons of the Tang dynasty. Chapter 57 New Sign-In, Canaan's Curiosity. System, Sign-In. Upon arriving at the world of the legend of the twin dragons of the Tang dynasty, Xiao Fan immediately gave the system a sign-in command without hesitation. Ding. Sign-in successful. Congratulations to the host, you have obtained a Zong pill. Note, this is a special pill for Zong, which can increase your cultivation by 1 to 3 stars after taking it. Not bad. This time I actually signed in directly for a pill that can increase your cultivation. Xiao Fan was also very satisfied when he learned about the items he was rewarded with for signing in this time. At the Zong level, if you rely on chat group points to increase your cultivation, you will need to consume 10 million points for each star you increase. In other words, this pill can save him at least 10 million points, or even 30 million points. Sure enough, it is still faster to rely on sign-in rewards. If you use points to increase, I don't know how long it will take to earn these 10 million points. It seems that signing in is the best way. Comparing the value exchange of sign-in rewards and chat group points, Xiao Fan couldn't help but think to himself, Mr. Xiao, why do you get distracted as soon as you come to our world? Did Kankan do something wrong? Kankan saw that Xiao Fan seemed to be distracted, so she asked in a coquettish voice. Xiao Fan regained his focus after hearing this and smiled. I was stunned by Ms. Kankan's beauty. Haha, Mr. Xiao is really good at making people happy. Kankan heard Xiao Fan's words. Although she knew it was just an excuse, she was very happy in her heart. After all, there is no woman who doesn't like others to praise her beauty. Xiao Fan casually looked around. Ms. Kanan, you must have traveled so hard that you just slept in the wild. Kanan said in a tender voice, I knew that the group leader was coming, so I stayed in the wilderness and waited for him to come. If I stayed in the inn, I was afraid of causing some unnecessary trouble. Xiao Fan nodded slightly. Miss Kanan is still thoughtful. Let's go, I'll take you to Canaan City. Although Xiao Fan had already signed in and could leave at any time, he had already said in the group that he would take Kanan to Canaan City, so he would naturally not break his promise. Kanan said, are we going directly to Canaan City now, Mr. Xiao? Why don't you stay with us for a while? It won't be too late for us to set off tomorrow morning. Xiao Fan shook his head slightly. I have something to do tomorrow, so let's go now. It won't take long anyway. After that, Xiao Fan's mind moved slightly and he released Xiao Jin. Wow, what a majestic beast. Seeing Xiao Jin, Can couldn't help but reveal a look of surprise in her eyes. She also loved this unusually majestic beast very much. Xiao Fan said, "This is my pet Xiao Yan. It flies very fast. Let's go. We will go to Qinan City and take the Yanggong treasure house." After that, Xiao Fan stretched out his hand and gently pulled, and Can and Xiao Jin sat on their backs. Xiao Jin let out a long cry, spread its wings, and directly carried Xiao Fan and Can into the night sky. What a fast speed! Can couldn't help but exclaimed when it was the first time to ride a flying beast, and subconsciously leaned on Xiao Fan's back, feeling the soft touch on his back. Xiao Fan was touched, but his expression remained unchanged. Xiao Jin's speed is indeed very fast, but it is very safe. Don't worry. At this time, Qian also felt that she was sticking to Xiao Fan's back. Her face flushed slightly, and she sat up a little straight. This is my first time flying in the night sky. At such a height, watching the scenery of the night sky is quite meaningful. Xiao Fan smiled and said, "When you are strong enough, you can fly up to the sky at any time to enjoy the night view." The two chatted while rushing to Qinan City. A quarter of an hour later, Xiao Jin carried Xiao Fan and Qian to the sky above Qinan City. "Let's go down," Xiao Fan said to Qian after sensing that they were already above Qinan City. "Xiao Jin's body is so huge. If he descends like this, I'm afraid it will alarm the entire Qinan City." Qian heard Xiao Fan's words and said with some worry. Xiao Fan smiled slightly, "I'll take you down." After saying that, Xiao Fan stretched out his hand to hold Xiaoxian's waist, and directly descended from Xiao Jin's back into Qinan City. Xiaoxian couldn't help but scream when she saw Xiao Fan carrying her on Xiao Jin's back and jumping directly from the sky. She subconsciously hugged Xiao Fan tightly, almost wrapping her whole body around Xiao Fan. Although Xiaoxian could also fly at low altitudes, they were now thousands of meters high. If they went down like this, they would be smashed into pieces. Xiao Fan looked at Xiaoxian's appearance and said with a hint of sarcasm, "You, the saint of the demon sect, seem to be a little timid. Besides, we will soon land in Qinan City. If you scream again, aren't you afraid of alarming the entire Qinan City?" Xiaoxian was not used to it at first, and the sudden feeling of weightlessness made her feel scared. But at this moment, after hearing Xiao Fan's words, she felt that she was descending very steadily, and her mood calmed down. She subconsciously looked around. Xiao Fan took her to walk in the air. In the hazy night, it was like an immortal descending to the earth, with a charming demeanor. Qian said in surprise and joy, "It turns out that Master Xiao can walk in the air by yourself." I was shocked. Xiao Fan smiled and said, "Do you think if I can't fly, I will take you to jump directly from a high altitude?" "Okay, restrain your breath. We are about to land." Qian heard Xiao Fan's words and stopped talking immediately. She held her breath and leaned on Xiao Fan quietly. After a while, the two landed in Qinan City. Qian had done her homework before rushing to Qinan City, and quickly found the location of Ziji Garden with Xiao Fan. Ziji Garden is quite large, and it is a bit troublesome to find the well. Qian complained casually after the two arrived at Ziji Garden. Xiao Fan smiled calmly. "Follow me." Xiao Fan's soul power was so strong that nothing in Ziji Garden could escape his soul perception. Finding a well was naturally too easy. Soon, the two found the well that led to Yanggong's treasure house, and then went from the well to the inside of Yanggong's treasure house. With Xiao Fan's powerful soul perception, the mechanism in Yanggong's treasure house was completely a decoration for the two. Not long after, the two found the real treasure house. It is rumored in the world that whoever gets Yanggong's treasure house can get the world. Although it is exaggerated, it is not without reason. I didn't expect that there are so many weapons, armor, gold, silver and jewelry in Yanggong's treasure house. Looking at the full treasures in Yanggong's treasure house, Qian couldn't help but sigh. Xiao Fan smiled faintly. "These are just ordinary external objects after all. The strength of your own is the foundation. You should upload them all to the chat group mall to exchange for points." Qian hesitated slightly, and said softly, "Mr. Zhao, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have found the treasure house so quickly, and I wouldn't be able to deal with those mechanisms easily. You should take some of these treasures." Xiao Fan smiled and said, "Are you willing to do so?" Qian bit her red lip slightly. "Although I'm a little reluctant, This is what you deserve, Mr. Xiao Fan looked at Kankin's appearance and couldn't help but smile. Okay, you should exchange them for points as soon as possible. I won't take them. I said I was here to help you. You upload them as soon as possible, and then we'll go out for a walk around Chainan City. Thank you, Mr. Xiao. Kankin smiled softly, and then began to upload all the treasures to the chat group mall. Soon, a series of prompts came from the chat group mall, which aroused the envy of Huang Rong, Yan Lingjai, Su Xiaoxiao and others. However, Xiao Fan and Qianqian did not pay attention to these for the time being. Let's go. Next, let's go and see the most precious item in the treasury, the evil emperor's relic. Seeing Qianqian empty the treasury, Xiao Fan said casually, yeah. Qianqian nodded in agreement, and the two went to the last small stone chamber together. Although Lumiazi's mechanism is very sophisticated, under Xiao Fan's soul perception, all of them are revealed, and soon the mechanism is opened, and the evil emperor's relic contained in the small bronze jar is also slowly rising into the side of the two. Qianqian hesitated for a moment, unable to suppress her curiosity. Mr. Xiao, why don't we open it and see what the rumored evil emperor's relic looks like? Chapter 58, Kanan's Gaffe and the Envy of Group Members. Xiao Fan glanced at Kankan. Aren't you afraid that the aura of the evil emperor's relic will be released and attract the covetousness of other powerful people? Kankan smiled coquettishly. Aren't you here, Master Xiao? After seeing the evil emperor's relic, I will immediately upload it to the chat group mall. You will take me away on Xiaojin, and let all the people in the world come to this emptied treasure house. It's quite interesting to think about it. Hearing Kankan's words, Xiao Fan couldn't help but shake his head slightly. He could only say that she deserved the name of the witch. Then open it and take a look. To be honest, Xiao Fan was also a little curious about this legendary evil emperor's relic. With Xiao Fan's approval, Kankan immediately opened the bronze jar containing the evil emperor's relic carefully. It was seen that the bronze jar was filled with mercury liquid. In the middle of the mercury, there is a fist-sized yellow crystal. The crystal is hard and soft. The translucent interior can vaguely see the blood-red pattern that slowly flows like clouds and rosy clouds, emitting a mysterious faint yellow light. There is no doubt that this crystal is the evil emperor's relic in the world of Datang Xuanglong, which has a great reputation in the world. After the bronze jar was opened, the evil emperor's relic automatically floated up from the mercury liquid and hovered between Xiao Fan and Qian. Boom! In an instant, an invisible breath was released from the evil emperor's relic, penetrating the layers of mechanisms in Yanggong's treasure house, penetrating the thick ground, and directly rising above Chainan City. Near Chainan City, almost all the people in the world were attracted by the evil breath and came to the location of Yanggong's treasure house. Especially the people in the demon sect who knew a little about the evil emperor's relic were even more agitated. Chainan City and its surroundings suddenly became chaotic because of the birth of the evil emperor's relic. At the same time, in the stone chamber where the evil emperor's relics were stored in Yanggong's treasure house, Xiaoxian's body suddenly trembled slightly, and her whole body froze as if someone had pressed her acupuncture points. The expression on her face kept changing, sometimes shy, sometimes intoxicated, as if she was enjoying something wonderful. Suddenly, Xiaoxian's body uncontrollably pounced on Xiao Fan, tightly pressed against Xiao Fan, and stretched out her hands to move around on Xiao Fan's body. Xiao Fan frowned slightly when he saw this. When the evil emperor's relics were first exposed to the air, he was also in a trance for a moment because of the remnants of the evil emperors of all generations. However, under his powerful soul power, he quickly cleared the remnants of the evil emperors of all generations and returned to normal. At this moment, Xiaoxian was obviously affected by the remnants of the evil emperor's relics. Xiao Fan could avoid Xiaoxian, but he couldn't leave Xiaoxian in this state. After a brief pause, Xiao Fan's mind moved slightly, and he directly activated his powerful soul power to suppress the residual thoughts in the evil emperor's relic, and then uploaded the evil emperor's relic to the chat group mall. Group member Xiao Fan uploaded the evil emperor's relic and obtained 150,000 points. Xiao Fan ignored the chat group's prompts, exchanged the evil emperor's relic for points, and looked at Qian again. At this moment, Qian's condition seemed to be better, but she had not yet woken up. Xiao Fan's mind moved slightly, and he stretched out his hand to put on Qian's shoulder. The soul power entered Qian's body, and at the same time he performed the soul refining technique to clear the remaining thoughts in Qian's body. After a while, Xiao Fan cleared the evil emperor's residual thoughts for Qian, and Qian also completely returned to normal. After waking up, Kankan looked at herself clinging to Xiao Fan with her clothes in disarray. She vaguely recalled what happened just now and her face suddenly turned red with shame. Mr. Xiao, I'm sorry, I lost my composure. It seems that I underestimated the weirdness of the evil emperor's relics. After what happened just now, Kankan's affection for Xiao Fan increased even more. Given her situation just now, if Xiao Fan had gone with the flow, it's okay. Xiao Fan smiled slightly, and continued, but the evil emperor's relics are actually not that exaggerated. If you reach the realm of heaven and man, the residual thoughts in the evil emperor's relics will not threaten you. Hateful, Mr. Xiao. Are you saying that I'm too weak? Kankan gave Xiao Fan a tender look and said coquettishly. Xiao Fan smiled. I am just stating the facts, and with this harvest, you can almost enter the realm of heaven and man, and then you will be invincible in your world. Kankan smiled and said, this is all thanks to your help, Mr. Xiao. It's just a little help, no need to be polite. Well, let's leave as soon as possible. It is estimated that someone will break into the Yanggong treasure house soon, although we are not afraid, but it is also very annoying. Xiao Fan shook his head slightly, said casually, and then walked towards the passage leading to the outside of Chainan City. Kankan had no objection to this, and immediately followed Xiao Fan quickly. Not long after, the two of them went to the outside of Chainan City through the passage. Although they had left Chainan City, Xiao Fan could still sense the chaotic situation in Chainan City at the moment. It seems that there is no way to travel around Chainan City at night this time. Xiao Fan shrugged slightly, looking regretful. Kankan said with a smile, Mr. Xiao, as long as you are willing, Kankan can accompany you to tour Chainan at night at any time. By the way, since we can't tour Chainan at night, can you do me a favor, Mr. Xiao? Xiao Fan raised his eyebrows slightly. What help? Kankan said. I will directly use the points I just exchanged to improve my cultivation, but I am worried about any unexpected situations, so I want to ask Mr. Xiao to protect me. Xiao Fan nodded slightly when he heard it. Is that so? No problem. By the way, I saw that your mind was affected by the evil emperor's relic just now, so you directly uploaded the evil emperor's relic to the chat group wall. I will send you a red envelope with the points. You can collect the red envelope. Kankan heard the words softly. If it weren't for Mr. Xiao, I don't know what would happen. The points for the evil emperor's relic will be counted as Mr. Xiao's. Xiao Fan said lightly. I've already made it clear before that I won't take advantage of you. Go to the chat group to collect the red envelope. After that, Xiao Fan directly operated on the chat group interface and sent a red envelope to Kankan. Wanji chat group, chat interface. Xiao Fan, at Kankan, collect the red envelope. Kankan's exclusive red envelope. Thank you very much, Mr. Xiao. Kankan looked at Xiao Fan deeply, thanked him solemnly, and then immersed her consciousness in the chat group. Kankan received Xiao Fan's red envelope and received 150,000 points. In the Wanji chat group, Huang Rong, Yan Lingjai, Xiaoxiao and others saw this prompt message and immediately went crazy. Xiaoxiao, at Xiao Fan, the group leader, so powerful and domineering, 150,000 points. I'm drooling with envy. Can you give me some too? Kowtow, Yan Lingjai, at Xiao Fan, woo woo, brother Xiao Fan, I wanted to. Envy, Huang Rong, brother Xiao Fan is so generous, 150,000 points. I wonder if I can redeem 150,000 points after I rob the treasury of the Jin Kingdom. Shocked, Yi Wen, young Master Xiao is so generous. Worship, Zhu Yuanzhang, young Master Xiao is so generous. I envy Miss Wan Wan. Envy, Qian Renxu, if it is young Master Xiao, then there is no problem, but I still have to say that young Master Xiao is generous. Worship, Xiao Fan, okay, Stop bragging. These 150,000 points are exchanged for the evil emperor's relic obtained from Yanggong's treasure house. It originally belonged to Miss Wan Wan, but there was a small mistake before, so I directly uploaded the evil emperor's relic to exchange for points. Xiaoxiao, I see, but the group leader is still generous. The group leader, the eternal god, worship, Xiaoxiao, at Wan Wan. Did you resist your curiosity and open the bronze jar containing the evil emperor's relic without my reminder? Picking nose, Xiaoxian. Ahem, yes. If it weren't for Master Xiao, I might have gone insane by now. Awkward. Xiao Fan, you guys chat first. Miss Xiaoxian is preparing to use her points to improve her cultivation. I'll protect her for a while, and then I have to go back. Also, don't call the group leader big brother every day. I won't give you any benefits just because you flatter me. At Xiaoxiao, especially you, picking nose, Xiaoxiao, woo, it's my fault that I made the group leader unhappy. Kowtow. Xiao Fan ignored Xiaoxiao and directly exited the chat group interface. Xiaoxian also said something to everyone and then went offline. Sorry to bother Master Xiao, Xiaoxian said politely to Xiao Fan, and then began to use her points to improve her cultivation. Xiaoxian exchanged a total of 400,000 points for the treasures of Yanggong's treasury and the evil emperor's relics. This time, she was originally a grandmaster at the 3rd level, and after consuming 6,000 points, she was promoted to the 9th level of the grandmaster, and then she consumed another 290,000 points and was directly promoted to the 2nd level of the heaven realm. Qianqian deliberately left over 100,000 points because she promised to pay Xiaoxiao. After Qianqian finished her training, Xiao Fan stayed for a while and then returned to the Qi world directly through the chat group. After returning to the room, Xiao Fan ignored the battle between the Xiao family and the Oba family and chose to go to bed. The next morning, Xiao Fan was still in his dreams when he heard a knock at the door. Chapter 59 3 Gifts for Xuner. Xiao Fan used his fighting skills to regain consciousness, quickly dressed, stood up and opened the door. He saw a beautiful girl in a purple dress standing quietly at his door. It was Xiao Xuner. When Xiao Fan was in the room, he sensed the presence of Xiao Xuner, but he was not surprised. He smiled and said, Sister Xuner, you came to see me so early. What's the matter? Xiao Xuner said faintly, Brother Xiao Fan has a new love, and he doesn't care about her anymore. He hasn't looked for Xuner since he came back, so Xuner had no choice but to come to his house. Looking at Xiao Xuner's resentful expression, Xiao Fan couldn't stand it in his heart. Ahem, Xuner, you think too much. I saw you three chatting happily yesterday, and I shouldn't get involved in the topic between new girls. I was just about to look for you today, but you came before I could look for you. Xiao Xuner wrinkled her upturned nose slightly, and said softly, Brother Xiao Fan, are you blaming me for coming too early? Xiao Fan shook his head and said, I'm just explaining to you, it's not your fault for coming early, but my fault for getting up late. Okay, let's not talk about this, let's go and treat our Xuner to breakfast. Xiao Fan felt that he could not continue to follow Xiao Xuner's topic, so he immediately changed the subject. Xiao Xuner heard this and did not dwell on the previous question. She nodded and said, Okay, the last time I had breakfast with Brother Xiao Fan was more than half a month ago. Immediately, the two of them left the Xiao mansion side by side and found a good restaurant outside to enjoy breakfast. Before they entered the restaurant, they heard the sound of discussion coming from the restaurant. I really didn't expect that after more than half a month, the Oba family, one of the three major families in Yun City, was also wiped out. Yes, more than half a month ago, the Jiali family, one of the three major families, was attacked by an unknown monster and the entire family was wiped out. This time, it is the turn of the Oba family to be wiped out. The difference is that it was the Xiao family that destroyed the Oba family. As one of the three major families, the Oba family is too unbearable. It was easily wiped out by the Xiao family. Of the three major families in Yun City, only the Xiao family is left. From now on, the entire Yun City will probably be named Xiao. When Xiao Fan and Xiao Xuner entered the restaurant, the expressions of the guests in the restaurant changed slightly, and they quickly stopped discussing the matter. The Xiao family is now in the limelight, and they don't want to provoke the Xiao family. Xiao Fan didn't care about these discussions. Others didn't say anything bad about the Xiao family, right? Meet Master Xiao Fan and Miss Xiao. When the restaurant owner saw Xiao Fan and Xiao coming, he hurriedly stepped forward, bowed to them, and spoke respectfully. Xiao Fan smiled and said, "No need to be polite, no need to be nervous, we are just here to have breakfast." The restaurant owner hurriedly said, "Yes, I will ask the kitchen to prepare it for you first." Xiao Fan smiled faintly and did not say much. This is a fantasy world where the strong are respected. It is not a big deal to enjoy this little privilege. The other guests in the restaurant will never be dissatisfied with this, but think it is reasonable. After Xiao Fan accompanied Xiao to finish breakfast, he walked around the streets of Wutan City for most of the day, bought Xiao a few gifts, and teased Xiao from time to time, so that she stopped mentioning Xiao Wu and Xiaoxiao. After shopping, Xiao Fan took Xiao back to the Xiao mansion. "I've prepared 3 gifts for you this time, come to my room and I'll give them to you." After returning to the Xiao mansion, Xiao Fan smiled and said to Xiao. Xiao smiled happily when she heard this. Brother Xiao Fan has finally not forgotten Xiao. I want to see what gift Brother Xiao Fan has prepared for Xiao. The two of them walked towards Xiao Fan's room while talking and laughing. When they arrived at the door of the room, Xiao Fan pretended to be mysterious and said, "Sister Xiao, close your eyes first. I'll let you feel the surprise of the gift later." Xiao glanced at Xiao Fan and nodded slightly. "Okay." Xiao Fan released his soul power to sense it. Perhaps because he was in the Xiao mansion, or because of Xiao's instructions, Ling Ying was still a little distance away from them. Xiao Fan slightly adjusted the angle to block the direction of Ling Ying's line of sight, and then his mind moved slightly, and he took out the awakening pool from the source tower and placed it in his room. At the same time, he also took out a foundation building pill from the system space and placed it in Xiao's palm. Xiao Fan took Xiao into his room, kissed her on the forehead, and then said, "Okay, Sister Xiao, you can open your eyes now." Xiao opened her eyes upon hearing the voice, her face full of blushing. "Brother Xiao Fan, you are so bad, taking advantage of others." Although she said this, Xiao was actually quite happy in her heart. Xiao Fan smiled and said, "This is the first gift for you, how can you say it is taking advantage?" "Huh, is this also a gift?" Xiao pouted her cute lips and snorted. "Of course I will." Xiao Fan confirmed without blushing, and then said, "The pill in your hand is the second gift. The foundation building pill is not a thing in the Dqi world, so Xiao naturally didn't recognize it. She took a look at the pill in her palm and asked curiously, "What kind of pill is this?" Xiao Fan said, "This is called the foundation building pill. It is mainly used to build the foundation for practitioners. It also has the effect of improving the aptitude of practice. You can try it." "Okay." Xiao agreed without hesitation after hearing this, and then put the foundation building pill into her mouth. Soon, Xiao felt the extraordinariness of this pill. Not only did her foundation for practice become more solid, but her aptitude for practice was also improved to a certain extent. Xiao's aptitude for practice was already very top-notch, and this pill could improve it, which was enough to show its extraordinary effect. "How is it? Is it effective?" After Xiao refined and absorbed the medicinal power of the foundation building pill, Xiao Fan asked with a smile. Xiao nodded slightly. "The effect is very good. Thank you, Brother Xiao Fan." Xiao Fan rubbed Xiao's head. "Why are you being polite to me? Come, let me let you experience this third gift. You will definitely be more satisfied with the effect of this gift." As he said that, Xiao Fan pointed to the awakening pool in the room. Xiao was a little puzzled and said, "Brother Xiao Fan, what is this?" "This is a treasure I got by accident, called the awakening pool." Xiao Fan directly told Xiao about the function of the awakening pool. "So magical." Xiao was slightly surprised when she heard it. She had never heard of such a treasure. In the Dqi continent, the importance of blood inheritance is self-evident. The 8 ancient families were able to dominate the Dqi continent because of their Daodi bloodline. However, due to Zhuang's tricks, the Daodi bloodline of the Xiao family was so thin that it could almost be ignored. Otherwise, the Xiao family would not have fallen to the point where it is now. This awakening pool can actually awaken the pure Daodi bloodline. The effect is too amazing. Xiao Fan stretched out his hand and gestured. You go in and try it. Xiao nodded slightly, took light steps, and stepped into the awakening pool. Chapter 60, Xiao Yan runs away. Xiao's birthday. As soon as Xiao stepped into the awakening pool, she sensed that from the mist, a mysterious energy flowed into her body, stimulating her blood. Under the stimulation of that mysterious energy, the Doupo bloodline in Xiao's body was also gradually awakening, and at the same time it seemed to be clearing the impurities in her blood, making this Doupo bloodline more pure. More than half an hour later, all the changes in Xiao disappeared, and the mysterious energy in the awakening pool also disappeared. Xiao took a deep look at this magical awakening pool, and then stepped out directly. How is it? Xiao Fan looked at Xiao who walked out of the awakening pool and asked with a smile. I feel that the D bloodline in my body has been completely awakened, Xiao said in amazement. Brother Xiao Fan, your awakening pool doesn't seem to be a one-time thing, right? Xiao Fan nodded and said, yes, I've used it before. Xiao said solemnly, Brother Xiao Fan, such a precious treasure must not be made public unless you are strong enough to crush everyone. Xiao Fan reached out and rubbed Xiao's head, and smiled. I know, except for my father and Jianzi and a few others, I won't let other people in the Xiao family know about this thing. Xiao nodded slightly, and then said, that's good, but when letting Uncle Xiao and Cousin Yan use the awakening pool, they must keep it secret and not spread it to others. Otherwise the people of the 7 ancient clans will not be able to resist coming to snatch the awakening pool. I won't reveal this to anyone, not even my father. Well, I will. Xiao Fan certainly knew the importance of this matter. Of course I have absolute trust in you, Xiao was very pleased to hear what Xiao Fan said. The two chatted for a while, and Xiao said, I've been here for quite a while. It's time to go back. Xiao was worried that Ling Ying would find something unusual, but she didn't say it clearly. Okay, I'll take you back. Xiao Fan's mind moved slightly, and he put the awakening pool back into the source tower. Then he and Xiao left the room and went to Xiao's residence. For the next period of time, Xiao Fan stayed in the Xiao family temporarily, and let Xiao and Yan use the awakening pool one after another. Both of them successfully awakened the perfect Doupo bloodline. In addition, Xiao Fan also took out the hurricane art, the earth-level skill that he had deduced and created before, and gave it to Xiao. As for the source, it was found outside in the tomb of a strong man. In addition, Xiao Fan also taught the flying wing to Xiao Yan and Xiao respectively. In addition, Xiao Fan also left a lot of skills and fighting skills for Xiao, as well as gold coins. As for the elixir, Yao Chen worked overtime for 6 or 7 days before he finally refined all the herbs Xiao Fan gave him into elixir. Xiao Yan kept 10% for himself, and gave all the rest to Xiao. One son gave him martial arts and fighting skills, and the other son gave him elixir, which made Xiao very happy. With these martial arts and fighting skills and elixir, the Xiao family will surely usher in rapid development in the future. Moreover, the Xiao family is the only one in Yuden City now. As long as there is no interference from external forces, the Xiao family will take off in the near future. Xiao Fan takes turns to accompany Xiao Xiao Yixian and Xiao Wu to go shopping and stroll every day. In his spare time, he goes to the underwater group and the Wanji chat group. His life is very relaxed and carefree. On this day, Xiao Fan just sent Xiao Yixian and Xiao Wu back to the guest room, and then returned to his room, but saw Xiao Yan standing at the door of the room. Third brother, you are back. Seeing Xiao Fan coming back, Xiao Yan hurriedly greeted him. Xiao Fan nodded slightly, and then casually said, Yanzi, what's wrong? What do you want to talk to me about? Xiao Yan scratched his head. I came here to say goodbye to my third brother. Xiao Fan raised his eyebrows slightly. Oh, are you going to leave the Xiao family and go out for training? Xiao Yan nodded and said, yes. The teacher thinks that it is difficult to improve the progress of cultivation in Yuden City, and I still have a 3-year agreement. I must become stronger as soon as possible in 3 years. Going out for training and looking for opportunities is the best choice for me. Xiao Fan expressed his understanding. With your teacher by your side, I don't need to talk nonsense about some training experience. However, when you go out for training, take care of yourself and don't risk your life too much. If I come across any good things to improve my strength, I will leave a portion for you to help you. Thank you, third brother. Xiao Yan was grateful when he heard Xiao Fan's words. In Xiao Yan's view, his third brother has helped him a lot in these 3 years. If it weren't for his third brother, his life would be even more difficult. The two chatted for a few more words, and Xiao Yan said goodbye and left. Xiao Fan looked at Xiao Yan's departing back, his eyes dim. After Xuner's birthday, I should go out again. There are still many wonderful things in the huge Qi continent. That's right. The reason why Xiao Fan didn't leave after arranging the Xiao family's affairs was because Xuner was about to turn 18. Xiao Fan planned to continue traveling around the continent after celebrating Xuner's birthday. After Xiao Yan left, 5 days passed, and finally it was Xuner's 18th birthday. In order to give Xuner a novel and impressive 18th birthday, Xiao Fan directly traveled to the Demon Revival world through the chat group and bought many items that only exist in modern society, such as birthday cakes, electronic music boxes, colorful balloons, etc. These things are already very common in modern society, but they are unique in the Qi world. On this day, Xiao Fan deliberately asked Xiaoxiao and Xiao Wu to take Xuner out shopping. After a period of getting along, the relationship between Xuner, Xiaoxiao and Xiao Wu has become quite good. After the 3 girls left, Xiao Fan immediately ordered the Xiao family servants to decorate Xuner's courtyard according to his requirements. Although these Xiao family servants did not know some modern items, they quickly learned how to decorate under Xiao Fan's guidance. More than an hour later, the style of the courtyard where Xuner lived had also changed greatly. The courtyard, which originally seemed a bit monotonous, was filled with lovely pink colors everywhere, and colorful balloons and ribbons were fluttering in the courtyard. At the gate of Xuner's courtyard, there was a specially customized gold foil text hanging, "Happy 18th birthday to Xuner." On a square table in the middle of the courtyard, there was a 3-layer birthday cake with excellent appearance and a crystal music box. On the cake, there were 18 candles and the words "Happy birthday to Xuner" were written. After everything was arranged, Xiao Fan sent all of the servants away and brought Xuner and the 3 girls back. When they were almost at the entrance of the courtyard, Xiao Fan covered Xuner's eyes from behind and said with a smile, "Xuner sister, close your eyes first, there will be a surprise later." Xuner nodded obediently. She was a little surprised at first, why Xiao Fan didn't accompany her on her birthday today, and let Xiaoxiao and Xiao Wu take her out shopping. Now she seemed to understand something and was looking forward to the surprise Xiao Fan mentioned. Then, Xiao Fan took Xuner to the courtyard slowly. Xiaoxiao and Xiao Wu followed behind, looking at the layout of the courtyard, and couldn't help showing envy in their eyes. After the group entered the courtyard, Xiao Fan first turned on the music box and played a Chinese version of Happy Birthday, accompanied by soothing music. "You can open your eyes," Xiao Fan said to Xuner, and then sang Happy Birthday to the rhythm of the music. Xuner looked at the various novel arrangements in the courtyard and the birthday song that Xiao Fan sang for her, and her heart was immediately moved. The rhythm and lyrics of the Happy Birthday song are very simple. Even though they are from different worlds, Xuner can easily understand this special blessing. "Brother Xiao Fan, thank you. I am very happy." Xuner walked to Xiao Fan, took the initiative to kiss Xiao Fan on the cheek, and spoke softly. Next, Xiao Fan, Xiaoxiao and Xiao Wu accompanied Xuner to celebrate a perfect 18th birthday. After the birthday party was over, Xiaoxiao and Xiao Wu said goodbye and left one after another. Xiao Fan was about to say goodbye and leave, but was stopped by Xuner. "Brother Xiao Fan, can you accompany Xuner tonight?" Chapter 61 Xuner's Love, Farewell. Xiao Fan naturally had no objection to this and agreed directly. The two ignored the things in the yard, returned to the room silently, and closed the door. Xuner sat on the edge of the bed and patted her side. "Brother Xiao Fan, come sit next to me." "Okay." Xiao Fan agreed, and walked over to sit next to Xuner. Xuner leaned her head on Xiao Fan's shoulder and said leisurely, "Brother Xiao Fan, sometimes I think, how nice it would be if we were always children, then it would be just you and me." Xuner leaned on Xiao Fan's shoulder, leisurely recalling every bit of her and Xiao Fan's childhood. Xiao Fan listened on this side and occasionally responded a few words. The two seemed to have returned to their childhood. After chatting for more than 2 hours, the two fell silent at the same time, and the atmosphere in the room gradually became warmer. I don't know who started it first. After brewing some foreplay, a unique battle unfolded in this small space. Xiao Fan lay quietly, reaching out to comfort Xiao, and suddenly felt a pain in his shoulder, and couldn't help but take a breath of cold air. It was Xiao who had recovered a little, and bit Xiao Fan's shoulder hard, leaving a row of bloody teeth marks on his shoulder. Xiao Fan asked in confusion, "Xiao, why did you bite me?" "Humphrey, I'm teaching you a little lesson. Who told you to go out and mess with other girls?" Xiao snorted delicately, pretending to be fierce. After a pause, the fierceness on Xiao's face disappeared, replaced by a timid and resentful expression. "Although I know that I can't monopolize brother Xiao Fan forever, I still can't help feeling sad." Xiao Fan turned sideways, kissed Xiao on the forehead, and said softly, "Xiao, I'm sorry." Xiao suddenly turned over and sat on Xiao Fan, saying proudly, "Although I can't monopolize brother Xiao Fan, I want to leave a mark on brother Xiao Fan, and I am the first to become brother Xiao Fan's woman. No matter how many women brother Xiao Fan has in the future, I must be the most unique one, and I have to be the boss in the inner courtyard of the Xiao family." "Okay, you are the boss." Xiao Fan nodded in agreement after hearing this. Looking up at Xiao's graceful figure, his heart couldn't help but fluctuate, and he couldn't help but start a fierce battle with Xiao again. When the first ray of morning light shone into the room through the window, Xiao Fan slowly opened his eyes, looking at the beautiful woman lying beside him, who was unreserved to him, and couldn't help but feel tender in his heart, and kissed Xiao on the forehead again. At this moment, Xiao blinked her eyelashes and slowly opened her eyes. Seeing the tenderness in Xiao Fan's eyes, she also put aside all the negative emotions in her heart and said softly, "Brother Xiao Fan, good morning." "Sister Xiao, good morning." Xiao Fan heard the voice and responded softly. Then, the two dressed neatly and went out to enjoy breakfast again. After breakfast, Xiao said, "Brother Xiao Fan, can you accompany me alone for 3 days?" Xiao Fan rubbed Xiao's head and nodded, "Of course, but are you hiding something from me?" "Why 3 days?" "Nothing." Xiao shook her head slightly and smiled. Seeing this, Xiao Fan didn't ask much, so he could only accompany Xiao to stroll leisurely in Yun City. 3 days sometimes feel very long, and sometimes feel very short. In Xiao's view, the 3 days that Xiao Fan accompanied her alone were undoubtedly very short. During the 3 days, Xiao Fan took Xiao to visit Yun City during the day, and occasionally took Xiao to fly in the sky on Xiaojin. At night, the two refused to admit defeat and started a new battle again. Xiao was defeated one after another, as if she wanted to turn the tables. Unfortunately, until the last battle on the third night, Xiao was also defeated. Time came to the morning of the fourth day. On this day, after Xiao Fan and Xiao got up, they enjoyed breakfast together as usual and were strolling in Yun City. Suddenly, Xiao Fan frowned slightly, because in Xiao Fan's perception, at the gate of Yun City, there was a group of people with strong strength coming in their direction. Among those people, the strongest has reached the Zong realm. What made Xiao Fan's expression more solemn was that he faintly sensed that there seemed to be a stronger aura hidden above the group of people. "Brother Xiao Fan, did you sense it too? But don't show it." Xiao noticed the change in Xiao Fan's expression, and hurriedly leaned close to Xiao Fan's ear and whispered, "But don't worry, they are here to pick me up, and they won't be bad for the Xiao family." Xiao Fan's heart trembled slightly when he heard this. It turned out that the strong men of the ancient clan had arrived. Xiao Fan rubbed Xiao's head. "You said you had nothing to hide from me, but it turned out that you were leaving." Xiao's eyes showed deep reluctance. "I didn't want to go back either, but I had to go back. If I had known, I would not have awakened my bloodline that day." Xiao Fan frowned slightly. "I overlooked it, but don't worry, I will find you soon." Xiao said, "Brother Xiao Fan, don't be impatient or impulsive. At least wait until you have the strength of Zong or above before going to Zhangzhou, otherwise it will be very dangerous. After Xiao goes back, I will also use the resources of the clan to improve myself as soon as possible. As long as I am strong enough, the people in the clan will not be able to stop me from meeting brother Xiao Fan." Xiao Fan actually understood that Zong's strength was still not enough to see in Zhangzhou. However, Xiao Fan did not say much about this topic. Sister Xuner, don't work too hard, just wait for me to find you. They are coming. Brother Xiao Fan, remember my words, you must be cautious in everything. Xiao Xuner sensed that the people of the ancient clan were about to come to them, and finally said one sentence, and then kept silent. Xiao Fan stopped talking and turned his gaze towards the direction of the people who came. They were all wearing purple-black robes, expressionless, and their eyes flickered slightly, like a sharp blade. The leader looked to be in his 20s, very handsome, with a faint smile on his lips. I am Linquin, the new deputy commander of the Black Annihilation Army. I am here to welcome the young lady back on the orders of the clan leader. When he came to Xiao Xuner, the leading man bowed slightly and said with a fist behind him. The others also bowed to Xiao Xuner. As for Xiao Fan in front of Xiao Xuner and the pedestrians around, they were completely ignored by them. Xiao Xuner said lightly, I know. Then, Xiao Xuner turned to look at Xiao Fan, and said reluctantly, Brother Xiao Fan, I'm leaving, remember what I said. Xiao Fan lowered his head slightly, kissed Xiao Xuner on the forehead, and said softly, parting is for a better meeting next time, don't be sad, wait for me in Zhangzhou. Seeing this, Linquin on the side had a cold look in his eyes, and said in a deep voice, Boy, you are so bold, dare to be rude to my lady. Xiao Xuner turned her head suddenly and said sternly, You are bold, you are not allowed to be rude to Brother Xiao Fan, otherwise I will not let you go. Buzz. Xiao Xuner glared at Linquin, and the fully awakened dowdy blood in her body suddenly produced a faint sense of oppression on Linquin and others. You know, Xiao Xuner is only at the Daoshi realm now. The two old men hidden above the crowd looked at each other, and couldn't help showing a mixture of surprise and joy in their eyes. Linquin was very upset to see Xiao Xuner defending Xiao Fan so much, but he didn't dare to be too rude to Xiao Xuner, so he had to say to Xiao Fan, Do you only know how to hide behind a woman? Do you dare to stand up and fight me like a man? Xiao Fan didn't bother to pay attention to Linquin. If there weren't two Zun masters hiding nearby, Xiao Fan could have crushed the guy who just entered Zong with one hand. Seeing that Linquin dared to provoke Xiao Fan, Xiao Xuner was about to get angry again. Xiao Fan shook his head slightly. Xuner, forget it. He's just a servant. Why bother with him? You go back with him and wait for me in Zhangzhou. Well, I'll listen to Brother Xiao Fan. Xiao Xuner nodded and agreed, then turned around and said coldly, Let's go. Linquin was so angry at Xiao Fan's words, but unfortunately he couldn't get angry at all. Xiao Xuner wanted to go back now, and he couldn't ask Xiao Xuner to wait, right? Although Xiao Fan's words were a bit harsh, they could really be said to be servants in front of Xiao Xuner. They could only glare at Xiao Fan fiercely, and then escorted Xiao Xuner away. Everyone is leaving. It's time for me to leave Wun City. Xiao Fan looked at the direction where Xiao Xuner left and murmured in a low voice, Get the first blood to prevent the river crab beast. That's it. Everyone, please bear with it. Please support me. Recommendation tickets, monthly tickets, rewards, 5-star praise, etc. Any data is fine. Thank you. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 62 Leaving Home Again. New members joining the group. After Xiao Xuner left the Xiao family, Xiao Fan stayed at home for 3 more days, trying to help his father Xiao Zhan as much as possible, and then proposed to Xiao Zhan the plan to go out again. Xiao Zhan had expected this, and although he was a little reluctant, he did not stop him. Before leaving the Xiao family, Xiao Fan called Xiaoxiao and Xiao Wu together, explained his goal, and then asked the 2 girls what they planned. Xiao Wu said crisply, Wherever Brother Xiao Fan goes, I will go there too. In the Dqi world, the person Xiao Wu is most familiar with and close to is only Xiao Fan. After a period of getting along, Xiao Wu developed an attachment to Xiao Fan, and the way she addressed Xiao Fan also changed. Xiaoxiao pondered for a moment, and slowly said, I want to travel to the Qian Empire. In the Qian Empire, most people are good at using poisons, which can be said to be a paradise for poison masters. Hearing Xiaoxiao mention the Qian Empire, Xiao Fan couldn't help but think of Xiaoxian's experience in the original book. In the original novel, after Xiaoxian and Xiao Yan parted at the Monster Mountain Range, they went to the Xiaoyan Empire and stayed at the home of a childless elderly couple in the Xiaoyan Empire. Later, the two elderly people died because of the outbreak of Xiaoxian's poisonous body, which made Xiaoxian feel guilty and sad, and her hair turned white overnight. Xiao Fan's thoughts changed, but his face did not show it. You went to the Xiaoyan Empire because of your identity as a poison master. In fact, you don't need to think so much. After practicing the 10,000 Poison Sutra, you can perfectly control your body. If the poison is used well, it can also save lives. In the Dqi continent, there are many kinds of Dqi attributes. You just treat yourself as a normal poison attribute practitioner. As for using poison to improve strength, there are plenty of poisons in the Monster Mountain Range. Let's cross the Monster Mountain Range together, and then go to the Tiger Desert. Anyway, you are traveling around the continent, so it doesn't matter where you go. Xiao Fan's first goal after leaving the family was to go to the Tiger Desert. On the one hand, he was going to find his two brothers, let them use the awakening pool to awaken the Daodi bloodline, and then give them some training resources. On the other hand, Xiao Fan was going to go to the Tiger Desert to find the Azure Lotus Earth Core Fire and conquer Queen Medusa. Although the timeline is different from the original, the location of the Azure Lotus Earth Core Fire and Medusa will not be any different. When Xiaoxian heard what Xiao Fan said, she also persuaded, Sister Xiaoxian, you should come with us, so that everyone will have a companion. If you travel the continent alone, it will be very lonely. In addition to Xiao Fan, Xiaoxian is Xiao Wu's second closest friend in this world, and she doesn't want her to leave like this. Xiaoxian was silent for a while after hearing this, and then said, then I will follow Brother Xiao. I hope you won't think I'm a burden. Xiao Fan hadn't said anything before Xiao Wu said mischievously, Sister Xiaoxian, I'm weaker than you. I suspect you are calling me a burden. Xiao Fan looked at the two girls and smiled. Okay, no one is a burden. Let's go. Xiaoxian thought for a while and said, since it's inexperience, I don't think we need to let Xiao Jun take us flying. It's also very good to travel around the continent and improve ourselves at the same time. Xiao Fan pondered for a while and nodded slightly. Okay, then let's go slowly. Anyway, Xiao Fan was not in a hurry to go to the Tiger Desert. After all, the main way for him to improve his cultivation was to earn points through the chat group and sign into different worlds. After making a decision, Xiao Fan took Xiaoxian and Xiao Wu and left Wun City and embarked on a new journey. During the day, the three of them traveled together, and at night they found an inn to stay at along the way. That night, after Xiao Fan settled down in the inn room, he entered the chat group as usual and chatted a few words. When he was about to leave, the chat group suddenly sounded a reminder of new members joining the group. Xiao Fan thought about it, and was too lazy to remind them in advance, so he let it go, and turned off the function of reminding the group owner in advance. Soon, other members in the chat group also received reminders of new members joining the group. Ding. Zhang Yuan joined the chat group. Ding. Dongba joined the chat group. Zhang Yuan. Dongba, good guy. The two who joined the group this time are both villains, especially Zhang Yuan. She is a ruthless person who killed so many people that only the name of the play is left in the whole play. When Xiao Fan saw the information of the two new members, his eyelids couldn't help but jump. While his thoughts were flying in his mind, Xiao Fan also sent a message in the group. Xiao Fan, at Zhang Yuan, at Zhongba, welcomed the two new members to the group. Xiaoxiao, welcome newcomers. Hiss, Zhang Yuan is here too. Surprised. Huang Rong, welcome newcomers to the group. Applause. Zhu Yuanzhang, huh? There are actually two newcomers joining the group this time? Welcome. Afterwards, Qian Renxu, Yan Lingjai, Yi Wen, and Qian also expressed their welcome to the newcomers. The world of Fenyun. Danxiahui. Zamba sat on the leader's throne, looking at the Danxiahui square, where tens of thousands of elite disciples were so powerful, his eyes full of complacency. Hearing the sudden voice in his mind, Zamba's face suddenly changed, and he looked around with some vigilance, but he didn't find anything. This made Zamba frown even deeper. The Wanji chat group. What is this? Wen Chaochu, who was standing beside Zamba, saw Zumba's expression suddenly change, and hurriedly waved his feather fan and asked carefully, "Boss, what's wrong? Is there anything wrong with the disciples training below?" Zumba said lightly, "You stay and watch, I have something to go back first." After that, Zumba ignored Wen Xiaochu, who was full of doubts, and hurriedly returned to his residence. After returning to the room, Zumba carefully sensed it and found that his body was not abnormal, but the message in his mind was still ringing. With a vigilant mentality, Zumba sank his consciousness into the chat group interface and watched the chat group messages. Xiao Fan, at Xiaoxiao, explained the function of the chat group to the two newcomers who just joined the group. Huang Rong, at Xiaoxiao, all-knowing and all-powerful immortal, please start your performance. Smirk, Yan Lingjai, at Xiaoxiao, all-knowing and all-powerful immortal, please start your performance. Naughty, Xiaoxiao, at Huang Rong, at Yan Lingjai, you two dead girls, go away. What do you mean by all-knowing and almighty immortal? No, I am a little fangirl of the Thunder Emperor. The Thunder Emperor, of course, refers to Xiao Fan. Last time, Xiao Fan asked Xiaoxiao not to call the group leader Big Brother, so Xiaoxiao considered it and gave Xiao Fan a new domineering name, which was agreed by all the group members. So, Xiao Fan's title of Thunder Emperor was decided. Xiao Fan felt that it was only a matter of time before he became the Thunder Emperor, so he did not shirk it. Xiao Fan, at Xiaoxiao, don't just flatter, do the business first. Knocking, Xiaoxiao, at Xiao Fan, I will obey the order of Lord Thunder Emperor, wait until I finish explaining the chat group function to the newcomers, and then continue to flatter. Continue to tell everyone about the great achievements of the Thunder Emperor. Xiaoxiao, at Zumba, at Zhang Yuan, the chat group of all realms can. Chapter 63 Zhang Yuan's gratitude, sign in again. Soon, Xiaoxiao started talking again, explaining the functions of the Wanji chat group to Zumba and Zhang Yuan, who had just joined the group. In the world of Zior and Houyuk, Zhang Yuan was in the brothel at this time, feeling desperate and regretting rejecting Zior, who had just come to rescue her. At this moment, Zhang Yuan heard the prompt of the Wanji chat group in her mind. Zhang Yuan was naturally very unfamiliar with chat groups and didn't know whether she should choose to join. While she was hesitating, the Wanji chat group tacitly agreed to her joining. Because she didn't know much about chat groups, Zhang Yuan didn't show up after joining the chat group. She silently observed the situation inside and saw Xiaoxiao's introduction to the chat group functions. After reading the functions of the chat group and everyone's chat messages, Zhang Yuan suddenly felt hopeful. Zhang Yuan, hello everyone, thank you for your welcome, and thank you Miss Su for introducing the chat group function to me. Xiaoxiao, at Zhang Yuan, you're welcome. This is also the request of Lord Thunder Emperor. Zhang Yuan, thank you Lord Thunder Emperor. Xiao Fan, at Zhang Yuan, since we have the chance to join the chat group, we are all friends, so you are welcome. Yan Lingjai, at Zhang Yuan, please sign in quickly. If you sign in as a new member, you may get a lot of points. Points can be used to improve your strength. Zhang Yuan, thank you for the reminder. Yan Lingjai, you are welcome. However, if you sign in and get points, it would be even better if you send a red envelope. Look forward to it. Ding. Zhang Yuan signed in successfully and got 999 points. Yan Lingjai, wow, good luck. Much better than when I just joined the group. Envy. Xiaoxiao, at Zhang Yuan, have you opened the Liuran Divine Dice and obtained the Transplantation Divine Art? Zhang Yuan, I have never practiced it. What is the Liuran Divine Dice? Xiaoxiao, at Zhang Yuan, you can first use the points to buy a set of skills, and then use the remaining points to improve your cultivation. If you don't have a set of skills, you can't improve your cultivation. Huang Rong, at Zhang Yuan, buy the 9 Yin manual that I uploaded, only 90 points, you can practice to the Grandmaster level. Zhang Yuan was about to respond, suddenly heard the sound of the door opening outside. Her face suddenly changed. She had rejected the brothel madam's request to let her receive customers before, and the fat woman said that she would find someone to teach her, and now she is afraid that she has brought someone. Suddenly, Zhang Yuan thought of the chat group. Zhang Yuan, I was deceived into the brothel, and now the people in the brothel want to force me to receive customers. They are already here, and I don't have time to improve my cultivation. Is there any group member who can come and help me, please? I will definitely repay this great favor in the future. Huang Rong, at Zhang Yuan, if you invite me, I will go over to help you teach them a lesson. These people are too hateful. Yan Lingjai, at Zhang Yuan, I can also go to help, but you have to invite me first. When Xiao Fan saw Zhang Yuan's message, he immediately understood the timeline of her world. Xiao Fan, I'm free right now, I'll go. Yan Lingjai, with brother Xiao Fan out there, I won't be needed. After brother Xiao Fan goes over, teach those bad guys a lesson. Clench his fist. Xiao Fan, I will. After responding to the message, Xiao Fan directly used the chat group's shuttle function and instantly arrived at the world of Xiaoyuer in Huawuke. Xiao Fan was so active, of course, not only to help Zhang Yuan, but also to sign in at Zhang Yuan's world. In the world of Xiaoyuer in Huawuke, Zhang Yuan had just sent the message when the brothel madam came in with a few thugs. Zhang Yuan was immediately frightened when she saw this. At this moment, a light gate suddenly appeared in the room, and a handsome young man in a green shirt stepped out of the light gate. After Xiao Fan walked out of the light gate disappeared directly. You? Who are you? The fat woman in the brothel saw Xiao Fan walking out of the light gate. Her face showed a look of doubt, and she asked in a trembling voice. Xiao Fan ignored her and said to Zhang Yuan, who was also a little surprised, you must be Zhang Yuan, right? I am Xiao Fan, the chat group leader. Zhang Yuan was relieved when she heard what Xiao Fan said. Thank you, Mr. Zhao, for helping me. Xiao Fan smiled and said, it's a small matter. How do you want to deal with them? At this time, the fat woman saw that Xiao Fan didn't seem to have any special features, and Xiao Fan's disregard for her made her very angry. So she screamed, you are playing tricks. Who do you think you are? You still want to deal with me? Come on, first destroy this boy, and then teach that stinky girl a lesson. The latter half of the sentence was naturally said to the thugs beside her. Hearing what the fat woman said, 3 or 4 thugs immediately showed fierce eyes and waved sticks to attack Xiao Fan. Mr. Zhao, be careful. Zhang Yuan saw this and reminded him with some worry. Don't worry, Xiao Fan responded with a smile, and then looked at the fat woman and several thugs, and the smile on his face suddenly faded. Since you are seeking your own death, then this young master will fulfill your wish. After the voice fell, Xiao Fan waved his hand casually, and sent out a palm force through the air, which shattered the hearts of several people at the same time. Plop! The next moment, several people fell to the bottom at the same time, their eyes rolled back, and they completely lost their lives. Xiao Fan was worried about scaring Zhang Yuan, so he chose a gentler way to kill, otherwise he would have slapped them into meat paste with one palm. Young Master Zhao, are they dead? Zhang Yuan saw that Xiao Fan waved his hand casually, and the fat woman and several thugs all fell to the ground and did not move, and asked in a low voice. At this time, Zhang Yuan felt relieved and a little scared. After all, Zhang Yuan has not experienced the affairs of the rivers and lakes, let alone turned evil. Xiao Fan nodded and said, yes, they are all dead. However, you don't have to feel psychologically burdened. People like them have harmed countless decent women like you. They deserve to die. Zhang Yuan was just a little uncomfortable in her heart. After hearing what Xiao Fan said, she immediately felt that Xiao Fan had killed them well. Mr. Zhao is right. They all deserve to die. Thank you, Mr. Zhao, for saving me. Xiao Fan said casually, it's just a little effort. I'll take you away from here. Zhang Yuan said with some worry, I'm afraid there are still many of them outside. Xiao Fan said, it doesn't matter. After speaking, Xiao Fan opened the door and walked out. Seeing this, Zhang Yuan hurriedly followed him. After leaving the house, Xiao Fan took Zhang Yuan away directly. As for the other people in the brothel, he was too lazy to pay attention to these small fry. Zhang Yuan leaned on Xiao Fan, feeling the warmth of Xiao Fan's body, and couldn't help but feel a sense of security. Subconsciously, she looked up at Xiao Fan's cheek, and her heart was pounding. It would be great if we could fly like this forever. Zhang Yuan thought to herself. Xiao Fan took Zhang Yuan out of the city and landed in a quiet place outside. You are such a beautiful girl, traveling alone in the world. It is still very dangerous without some strength. While I am here, you can use your points to improve your cultivation. I will protect you. By the way, I have a copy of Taiyin Sutra. You can practice it first and then use your points. After landing on the ground with Zhang Yuan, Xiao Fan said to Zhang Yuan. When Zhang Yuan just landed, she felt a little disappointed. When she heard Xiao Fan's words, she felt warm and said gratefully, "Thank you, Mr. Zhao." Zhang Yuan thanked Xiao Fan, took the Taiyin Sutra with both hands, and began to read it. Under Xiao Fan's guidance, Zhang Yuan quickly understood the Taiyin Sutra, and then used her points to improve her cultivation. While Xiao Fan was protecting Zhang Yuan, he also gave the system a sign-in instruction in his heart. System, sign-in. Chapter 64 Swallowing the Sky and the Earth. Zomba's Doubt. Ding. Sign-in successful. Congratulations to the host. You have obtained the magical power to swallow the sky and the earth. Note, using this magical power, you can devour all the natural treasures, the essence of heaven and earth, and non-human creatures whose realm is not higher than that of the host, etc., and absorb the essence to enhance the host's strength. This magical power is quite amazing. Xiao Fan did not expect that in an ordinary martial arts world, he could actually sign in such a powerful magical power. It seems that the richness of the sign-in reward has no direct relationship with the level of the world he signed in. Yes, I can use this magical power to improve my strength in the future, and I don't have to rely entirely on the chat group points or sign in. After all, the time for new members to join the chat group seems to be a little uncertain. Sometimes there are no new members joining the group for a long time, and he can't just wait and not improve himself, right? As for the step-by-step practice, Xiao Fan, who has had the experience of cheating, is really disgusted with the improvement speed. Xiao Fan was not in a hurry to test the magical power of swallowing the sky and devouring the earth. After all, there were no precious treasures or alien creatures in the world of Xiaoyuer and Huayuk. Xiao Fan decided that he would try the effect of this magical power after returning to the Qi world and arriving at the Magic Beast mountain range. Not long after, Zhang Yuan finished using the points to improve her cultivation. In this short period of time, Zhang Yuan has gone from an ordinary person to a junior master of the ninth heaven of the innate, and her points have been completely consumed. However, compared with other people in the group, Zhang Yuan only signed in once and was able to achieve such an achievement, which is already very good. Mr. Zhao, thank you. If it weren't for you, my end would definitely be very tragic. Now you not only saved me, but also gave me a high-level cultivation method, allowing me to step up to the 9th level of the innate realm. Your great kindness, Yuan really doesn't know how to repay you. After using the points to improve her cultivation, Zhang Yuan bowed to Xiao Fan and said with gratitude. Xiao Fan smiled and said, "It's just a small matter. Speaking of which, for some reasons, I have a general understanding of your life. You should be on the way to find your father now, right?" Zhang Yuan was surprised and said, "Mr. Zhao, how did you know?" Xiao Fan said, "For the specific reasons, you can ask Xiaoxiao in the group later and let her explain it to you. Now, what I want to tell you is that even if you find your father, you may not live a good life, and it may even be the beginning of another tragedy." "Do you still plan to find your father?" Zhang Yuan pondered for a moment, and then continued, "In any case, this is my mother's last wish. I still want to meet my father whom I have never met. Now that I have a certain strength in the world, and with the chat group, I can definitely take control of my destiny." Xiao Fan nodded and said, "In that case, I will be a good person to the end. I will send you directly to where your father is. When you get there, you can pretend that you don't know martial arts and experience life in the Zhang mansion firsthand before deciding what to do." "Thank you, Mr. Zhao." Zhang Yuan heard this and thanked Xiao Fan again. Xiao Fan didn't say much. He summoned Xiao Jin directly, took Zhang Yuan to sit on Xiao Jin's back, and flew to the city where Zhang Bi was. Although Xiao Fan could fly a long time ago, with Xiao Jin's fast and convenient means of transportation, he certainly didn't need to travel by himself. Zhang Yuan was surprised to see Xiao Jin, and couldn't help but feel a strong curiosity about Xiao Fan. Not long after, Xiao Fan and Zhang Yuan arrived at the gate of Zhang Mansion. The owner of this mansion is your biological father Zhang Bi. You decide what to do next. I'll go back first. If you want to find me in the future, just use the chat group. Xiao Fan said to Zhang Yuan after taking Zhang Yuan off Xiao Jin's back. Zhang Yuan heard that Xiao Fan was leaving, and she couldn't help but feel a little reluctant. Mr. Zhao, can't you stay here for a few more days? Xiao Fan said, I have something else to do. Let's talk next time. Then, Xiao Fan's mind moved slightly, and he put Xiao Jin into the system space, and then returned to the Qi world through the Wanji chat group. Zhang Yuan looked at the place where Xiao Fan suddenly disappeared, and her expression was still a little reluctant. After a slight hesitation, Zhang Yuan stepped forward and stretched out her hand to knock on the door of Zhang Mansion. At the same time, Wanji chat group, chat interface. Zamba read everyone's chat messages and Xiaoxiao's introduction to the chat group function, and finally accepted this magical thing in his mind. Zamba, I didn't expect that I could communicate with people from different worlds at the same time. It's quite interesting. I am Zamba, the leader of the Tanxiahui, and I have the 9th level cultivation of the Grand Master. I wonder what rank I can rank in the group. Today, Dongba, with the help of his 3 disciples Qin Shuang, Bu Jinyan and Nifeng, has destroyed many Jianu forces such as Wushuang City. His power has reached its peak and he is now in high spirits. Xiaoxiao, at Dongba, you are just a Grand Master. It is better to keep a low profile. Lord Lady doesn't need to say much. Qian Renxu is also 2 realms higher than you, and Miss Wan Wan has also reached the realm of unity between man and nature. Xiaoxiao, you can barely rank 4th in the group, but Huang Rong and Yan Lingjai are only 17 or 18 years old, and they are already Grand Masters. Don't show off at your age. Picking nose. In the Fenian world, Dongba looked at the message sent by Xiaoxiao in the chat group, and his face suddenly became ugly. Dongba, at Xiaoxiao, I wonder how old you are now and what your cultivation is? Xiaoxiao, at Dongba, I won't tell you this, but I can tell you something that you are interested in. Did you accept Nifeng and Bu Jinyan as your disciples according to the advice of the Clay Buddha? Zamba, at Xiaoxiao, how did you know? Xiaoxiao, at Zamba, has the Clay Buddha given new advice for the 2nd time? In the Fenian world, in the bedroom of the leader of the Tanxiahui, Zamba looked at Xiaoxiao's message and was surprised. He is currently looking for the Clay Buddha to calculate his fate in the 2nd half of his life. He didn't expect Xiaoxiao to know this. Yan Lingjai, at Xiaoxiao, are you addicted to pretending to be a charlatan? Watching the show, Wan Wan, Miss Su knows the fate of other members in the group and reveals it in advance, which is a great help to the group members. Under the guidance of Xiaoxiao, Wan Wan successfully found Yang Gong's treasure house, gained a lot of points, and directly broke through to the realm of unity between man and nature, so she is still very grateful to Xiaoxiao. When Zamba saw the message sent by Wan Wan, his pupils shrank slightly. Could it be that this Xiaoxiao is a fortune teller who is more powerful than the Clay Buddha? Dongba, at Xiaoxiao, I haven't found the whereabouts of the Clay Buddha yet. Xiaoxiao, at Dongba, you don't have to look for the Clay Buddha. I can tell you now that your 2nd half of life will be like the roar of the dragon and the 9 heavens will shake the world, and the wind and clouds will meet in shallow water. In other words, Feng Yun and Feng Yun will leave the Tanxi Association, and even turn against you. To sum up your life, it is success is due to Feng Yun and failure is also due to Feng Yun. Zhu Yuanzhang, success is due to Xiao He and failure is due to Xiao He. I know. But this success is due to Feng Yun and failure is also due to Feng Yun. This is the first time I have heard of it. It seems that the leader of Dongba may die at the hands of Feng Yun in the future. Huang Rong, from the literal meaning, I am afraid that it is indeed the case. Watching the show, what? Success is due to Feng Yun and failure is also due to Feng Yun. I will die at the hands of Feng Yun and Feng Yun? How is it possible? In the world of Feng Yun, in the Tanxi Association, Dongba looked at the messages from several people in the chat group, and his face changed for a while. Chapter 65, The Coming of the Storm. The ferocious beast Fire Kylin, After Xiao Fan returned to the Qi world, he casually glanced at the messages in the chat group, pondered for a moment, and followed suit. Xiao Fan, at Zumba, as long as you don't commit suicide, there won't be a big problem. Speaking of which, since you haven't found the clay Buddha yet, you shouldn't have used your tricks to sow discord between Nifeng and Bu Jinyun, right? Fenian world, Dan Xiaohui. Zumba just looked at the news about Xiaoxiao, Zhu Yuanzhang and others, and was thinking about how to avoid dying at the hands of Fenian. Just like in the original novel, Zumba's first thought was to sow discord between Nifeng and Bu Jinyun, and let Nifeng and Bu Jinyun kill each other. Since the Fenian alliance is so powerful, let them separate, or even turn against each other. Moreover, Zumba quickly thought of a way to operate, which was to prepare to use Kong Se, the maiden-chief of Dan Xiaohui, as a chess piece. Seeing the message sent by Xiao Fan, Zumba was shocked. What's going on? Are the people in this chat group so amazing? They can even know his next plan in advance. According to what the previous few people said, this person named Xiao Fan should be the strongest in the group, and he should not be offended easily. Thinking in his heart, Zumba also replied to the message. Zumba, at Xiao Fan, I am preparing to use a trick to make Nifeng and Bu Jinyun turn against each other. Is there any problem with this? Xiao Fan, you'd better not do this. Nifeng doesn't have any hostility towards you now. As long as you don't target him, he won't turn against you. As for Bu Jinyun, as long as you accept Kong Se as your adopted daughter, and then let Kong Sifeng marry him in a grand manner, under the influence of Kong Se, he will not turn against you. Xiaoxiao, at Zumba, Lord Thunder Emperor is right. This is your way to resolve the life and death crisis at the lowest cost. Xiao Fan, I just said it casually. It's up to you, Zumba, to decide how to do it. Xiao Fan, at Xiaoxiao, tell Zhang Yuan and Zumba about their original destiny, and also introduce them to the matter of the time traveler. I have something else to do, so I'll leave first. Anyway, since he had Xiaoxiao as a tool, he would not waste his time in popularizing science to the newcomers. Xiaoxiao, I will obey the orders of Lord Thunder Emperor. Baoquan. Xiao Fan ignored the messages in the group, directly withdrew his consciousness from the chat group, and then went to bed to rest. That's right, Xiao Fan's job is to sleep. The next morning, after Xiao Fan got up, he had breakfast at the inn with Xiaoxian and Zhao Wu, and then continued on his way. In the evening, Xiao Fan continued to water in the group for a while, and then rested. On the third night after the newcomers joined the group, Xiao Fan had his own private space and sank his consciousness into the chat group again. This time, Xiao Fan was going to sign in at the Fenian world, the chat group of all worlds. Chat interface. Xiao Fan, at Zumba, I will go to your world to take a look later. Is that okay? During these 3 days, through the stories told by Xiaoxiao and other group members, Zumba and Zhang Yuan knew about Xiao Fan's great achievements, and also knew that Xiao Fan was very generous. Zumba was thinking about how to cling to Xiao Fan's thighs, and when he saw the message sent by Xiao Fan, he quickly responded. Zumba, at Xiao Fan, it is Zumba's honor that Lord Thunder Emperor can come to our world, and you are always welcome to come. It is no secret that Xiao Fan likes to go to other group members' worlds, and everyone is used to it. It is not surprising to see Xiao Fan going to Fenian world. Xiaoxiao, at Xiao Fan, Lord Thunder Emperor, when you go to Fenian world, don't forget to go to Linian Cave, which is the treasure place of Fenian world. In fact, Xiaoxiao also wanted to empty Linian Cave, but unfortunately with her current strength, if she went to Linian Cave, she would probably become the food of Fire Kirin. Xiao Fan, at Xiaoxiao, thank you for reminding me, but you should hurry up with your things over there, your efficiency is too slow. Xiaoxiao, there is nothing I can do, I just became a reserve member of the special department. If I want to officially join, I have to take new assessments and make contributions. The special department has great power, and I don't have any connections or backing, so I can only come step by step. Helpless. Xiao Fan, that's it. I'll go to Fenian world first, and you guys continue chatting. After Xiao Fan finished speaking, he went to Fenian world directly through the shuttle function of the chat group. In an instant, Xiao Fan descended into the Tangxiahui Fenian world. Ba was surprised to see Xiao Fan coming out of a magical light gate, and he became more convinced of the function of the chat group. "Greetings, Lord Thunder Emperor." Ba hesitated for a moment, stepped forward, and bowed slightly to Xiao Fan. Xiao Fan looked at Ba and saw that he was burly and majestic, and he had the momentum of a superior. Xiao Fan smiled and said, "Boss, you don't have to be so polite, just call me by my name. Lord Thunder Emperor is just a nickname given by Xiaoxiao." Ba thought for a moment, clasped his fists and said, "How about I call you Young Master Xiao?" As the leader of Tangxiahui, Ba has always been treated respectfully by others. It's okay in the chat group, but he really can't get used to calling Xiao Fan Lord Thunder Emperor in person. Xiao Fan glanced at Ba and said calmly, "You can do whatever you want." Ba stretched out his hand toward the outside of the hall. "Young Master Xiao, let me take you around Tangxiahui." Xiao Fan nodded slightly. "Okay." Then, Xiao Fan, led by Ba, strolled around Tangxiahui casually, then said goodbye to Ba and went to Linian Cave. If it was a beautiful woman, Xiao Fan wouldn't mind taking her to Linian Cave. However, for a rough man like Ba, forget it. Xiao Fan was unwilling to accept either riding Xiao Jin together or flying with him. In the eyes of Ba's shock and envy, Xiao Fan released Xiao Jin, walked directly into the air and sat on Xiao Jin's back, and disappeared in the Tangxi Association in an instant. Looking at Xiao Fan's back riding Xiao Jin, Ba's eyes flashed with a gleam of light. "This Mr. Xiao, it seems that he is really a very powerful and mysterious person." Xiao Fan didn't care about Ba's thoughts, and soon arrived at Linian Cave on Xiao Jin. At the entrance of Linian Cave, Xiao Fan let Xiao Jin fly outside at will, as a way to relax it, and Xiao Fan himself stepped into Linian Cave. With Xiao Fan's current cultivation strength, he is naturally fearless of the fire Kirin in Linian Cave. As for those intricate roads, Xiao Fan has a strong soul induction ability and is not worried about getting lost. Roar! Not long after Xiao Fan entered Linian Cave, he heard a burst of angry roars. Then came the sound of the beast running rapidly, and the whole Linian Cave was shaking violently, like an earthquake. There is no doubt that the source of the sound was the fire Kirin that lived in Linian Cave. When Xiao Fan heard the voice of the fire Kirin, he couldn't help but raise his eyebrows slightly, and whispered, "I can use this fire Kirin to try out the magical power I got 2 days ago." In an instant, a monster with blazing flames all over its body, a dragon head and a lion body, and deer horns on its head rushed towards Xiao Fan from the depths of Linian Cave. It was the fire Kirin that was notorious in the Fenian world. Roar! The fire Kirin sensed that a human had broken in, so it rushed over quickly. After seeing Xiao Fan, it immediately let out a roar and attacked Xiao Fan fiercely. Chapter 66. Master the power of space and enter the Warcraft Mountains again. Seeing the fire Kirin coming fiercely, Xiao Fan was not nervous at all. He opened the 5 fingers of his right hand, and a black vortex suddenly appeared in his palm. From the vortex, a terrifying devouring force came out. This is exactly the magical power he signed in recently, devouring heaven and earth. When this magical power is used, according to Xiao Fan's mind, a terrifying devouring vortex can be formed in any part of his body, no matter whether it is a natural treasure or a living being. As long as it is sucked into the devouring vortex, it can only be transformed into pure energy to enhance Xiao Fan's cultivation strength. Roar! The fire Kirin felt the fatal threat from the vortex in Xiao Fan's palm, and let out a roar. The 4 hooves stepped on the ground and tried their best to resist the devouring force. However, its actions were in vain. But in a moment, the fire Kirin was swallowed by the black vortex in Xiao Fan's palm. The black vortex didn't look big, but it seemed very easy to suck the fire Kirin into it, and even Xiao Fan's palm was not affected at all. When the fire Kirin was sucked into the black vortex immediately disappeared, as if it had never appeared. At this time, Xiao Fan sensed that a pure burning energy began to flow into his body from the position of his palm. Xiao Fan immediately performed the Thunder Emperor art and began to refine and absorb this pure energy. Not bad. 6-star Zong. A quarter of an hour later, Xiao Fan completely absorbed and refined this pure energy, felt his own cultivation level, and couldn't help but say with satisfaction. Xiao Fan used the awakening pool and then consumed 10 million points to reach the level of 2-star Zhong. Last time in the world of the twin dragons of the Tang dynasty, Xiao Fan signed a Zhong pill, and after taking it, he directly improved his cultivation by 3 stars, reaching 5-star Zhong. This time, using the heaven-swallowing and earth-devouring divine power, he refined the fire Kiran into pure energy, which allowed his cultivation to be improved by 1 star again. This heaven-swallowing and earth-devouring magical power is good. It is not like some so-called devouring magical powers, which require all the natural treasures to be eaten into the stomach. When we reach the Warcraft mountain range, this magical power can come in handy. Xiao Fan was very satisfied with his first attempt to use the heaven-swallowing and earth-devouring magical power. Next, Xiao Fan went deep into the Linian cave and looted all the treasures in the Linian cave, such as the snow-drinking knife, the fire-scale sword, the blood body, the dragon vein, and the Aohan Liuju, the Xuan Wu Zhang, and other skills. Xiao Fan pondered for a while and kept the blood body temporarily. All other items and skills were uploaded to the chat group mall. Of course, Xiao Fan did not forget to deduce and create skills such as the Xuan Wu Zhang and the Aohan Liuju, and gained 2 batches of points. These things added up to earn Xiao Fan hundreds of thousands of points again. Xiao Fan's mind moved slightly, and he checked his information column in the chat group. Group member, Xiao Fan, age, 18, world, Qi world, cultivation, 6-star Zhong, potential, unknown, points, 3.62 million, with only 3.62 million points. It's too difficult to get 10 million points. The subsequent improvement depends on the sign-in rewards and the magical power of swallowing the sky and devouring the earth. After checking his own points information, Xiao Fan couldn't help but shake his head slightly, a little dissatisfied. Speaking of sign-in rewards, I haven't signed in since I came to the Fenian world. Xiao Fan muttered for a while, and directly issued a sign-in command to the system in his heart. Ding! Sign-in successful. Congratulations to the host, you have obtained a space origin fruit. Note, after taking it, you can comprehend the origin of space and master various space magical powers. Please explore the details yourself. What a good thing! Hearing the content of this sign-in reward, Xiao Fan was immediately surprised. Xiao Fan was too lazy to say hello to Zhongba. He went out of Linian cave directly, put Zhao Jun into the system space, and then returned to the Qi world through the chat group. After returning to the Qi world, Xiao Fan immediately took out the space origin fruit and ate it in a few bites. Suddenly, Xiao Fan felt that he had a unique connection with the origin of space. Under the effect of the space origin fruit, coupled with the bonus of the heaven-defined comprehension, Xiao Fan soon completely comprehended the origin of space and mastered a lot of space magic. For example, space shuttle, space strangulation, space opening, space transfer, etc. Sure enough, the sign-in reward is reliable. After a quarter of an hour, Xiao Fan stopped comprehending the origin of space, and his face was full of joy. The next great realm after the Zhong realm is called Zun. In order to break through the Zhong realm, in addition to the accumulation of Qi, you also need to comprehend the power of space. Mastering and using the power of space is the sign of a Zun strongman. Space shuttle and space strangulation are both means of Zun strongman. Opening up space and moving space are what Sheng masters can do. Xiao Fan is only a 6-star Zhong now, and there is still some distance from the Zun realm, but he has already mastered the space ability that Zun and Sheng masters can master. How can he not be surprised? Now, in addition to the Qi stock, Xiao Fan is almost comparable to a 6-star Sheng. Coupled with the physical strength of the 8th level magic beast, Xiao Fan can be sure that he can now win even if it is a Zun Peak Master. As for the Sheng Masters, Xiao Fan is still a little unsure. After all, the gap is too big. With such a big surprise, Xiao Fan has a hard time falling asleep. At this time, Xiao Fan sensed that someone at him in the chat group. Since he couldn't sleep anyway, Xiao Fan sank his consciousness into the chat group and prepared to spend time chatting. Wanji chat group, chat interface, Xiaoxiao, as Xiao Fan, group leader, Lord Thunder Emperor, Master Xiao, did you empty the Lin Yun cave? I saw that you uploaded a lot of treasures. all from the Linian cave. With so many benefits, why don't you give some to everyone? Smirk, Yan Lingjai. Wow, is Brother Xiao Fan going to give out red envelopes? Expectation. Huang Rong, Brother Xiao Fan can easily get hundreds of thousands of points, which is really enviable. When can I be as good as Brother Xiao Fan? Envy. Dongba, Master Xiao just left not long ago, and he has already emptied the Linian cave. Isn't this too fast? Shocked. Xiao Fan, at all members, I'm happy today, giving everyone benefits, come out to get red envelopes. Red envelope, Wan. Looking forward to Master Xiao's red envelope. Expectation. Yi Wen, thank you for Master Xiao's generosity. Thanks, Zhu Yuanzhang. Let's also be shameless and grab a red envelope. Fist. Xiaoxiao received Xiao Fan's red envelope and received a blood body. Wan received Xiao Fan's red envelope and received a blood body. Yan Lingjai. Soon, everyone received the red envelope. Yan Lingjai. At Xiao Fan. Thank you Brother Xiao Fan, but what is this blood body? Curious. Zhu Yuanzhang. I am also a little curious. Qian Renxu. This blood body seems to contain a strong energy. Xiaoxiao. I know this. The blood body is one of the treasures in Linian Cave. According to the standards of the martial arts world, after taking it, one can improve the skill by 50 years. In addition, it has a miraculous effect of healing. Even if there is only one breath left, after taking the blood body, one can recover. Xiaoxiao. At Xiao Fan. Thank you Lord Thunder Emperor for your generosity. Thanks, Wan. At Xiao Fan. Thank you Lord Thunder Emperor for your generosity. Thanks. Afterwards, others also expressed their gratitude to Xiao Fan. Xiao Fan, you are welcome. It's just a small gift. You can take the blood body directly and see how much your cultivation can be improved. Xiao Fan. At Zhongba, since this blood body was found in your world, I will give you a few more for backup. Zhongba's exclusive red envelope. Zhongba. At Xiao Fan. Thank you Master Xiao. Thanks. Zhongba was actually a little uncomfortable when he saw Xiao Fan had gained so much in Linian Cave. However, Zhongba knew how powerful Xiao Fan was and did not dare to show his emotions. Now that he could get Xiao Fan's extra gifts, Zhongba felt that he was not so uncomfortable. Thinking carefully, if he went to Linian Cave, he might not be able to find these things. After all, Zhongba was not unfamiliar with Linian Cave, but it was a pity that it was too complicated, and there was a fire unicorn staring at it, so Zhongba did not dare to go deep into it easily. Xiao Fan naturally did not know Zhongba's thoughts, but even if he knew, he would not care at all. Xiao Fan stayed in the group for a while, calmed down his mood, and then exited the chat group interface and went to bed to rest. The other people in the chat group took blood body and tried to improve their cultivation. Ordinary time always passes quickly. Since Xiao Fan used the space origin fruit that day, more than 10 days have passed. Xiao Fan, Xiao Wu, Xiao Yixian and his party of 3 finally entered the Warcraft mountain range again. Chapter 67 Amethyst Winged Lion King. Although Xiao Fan started from Mutant City like last time, he deliberately adjusted the direction of entering the Monster Mountain range. After all, the Monster Mountain range area in the direction of King Shantown has been almost completely swept by Xiao Fan and Xiao Yixian. After changing the direction to enter, Xiao Fan, Xiao Yixian and Xiao Wu have a rich harvest every day. On this day, Xiao Fan took the 2 girls to search for natural treasures in the Monster Mountain range as usual. Roar! Suddenly, an angry roar came from not far away. You two come to my side. Sensing the momentum in the roar of the monster, Xiao Fan raised his eyebrows slightly and said to Xiao Yixian and Xiao Wu who were picking herbs, this kind of situation is not the first time that Xiao Yixian and Xiao Wu have experienced it. Hearing Xiao Fan's words, they quickly came to Xiao Fan's side. Not long after the two arrived at Xiao Fan's side, a huge monster with extraordinary momentum appeared in their sight. The body of the demon beast was 7 or 8 meters long, and its surface was covered with a layer of purple crystals. When the sun shone on it, it was radiant and dazzling. The head of the demon beast was a lion head with a rather ferocious appearance. Its pupils were blood red with a strange purple light. On the lion head, there was a fiery red spiral horn, and on the side of the huge lion body, there was a pair of purple wings. Amethyst-winged Lion King? Seeing the appearance of the demon beast, Xiao Fan's mind moved slightly, and he recognized the identity of the demon beast at the first time. Human, since you know this king, who gave you the courage to break into my territory? The amethyst-winged Lion King heard Xiao Fan's whisper, opened his bloody mouth, and let out a huge roar. Xiao Fan smiled faintly. You are just a 6th-level demon beast, and you dare to be so arrogant? You can only be arrogant in this northwest region. After 2 trips to the demon beast mountain range, Xiao Fan finally understood what it meant to be misled by rumors. According to rumors, deep in the Warcraft Mountains, there are even 7th and 8th level warcrafts that are comparable to Zhong and Zun. However, Xiao Fan has already plundered most of the area of the Warcraft Mountains, not to mention the 7th and 8th level warcrafts. Even the 6th level warcrafts are only the earth-violent bear he encountered before and the purple crystal-winged Lion King in front of him. This is also the reason why Xiao Fan has been in the Warcraft Mountains for a long time but has not gained many points. The main reason is that the level of the warcraft is too low. It seems that those powerful warcraft, like powerful humans, can only be found in the Zhongzhou region. Roar! Human, you dare to provoke this king? You are looking for death. When the purple crystal-winged Lion King heard Xiao Fan's words, he immediately roared. From his huge mouth, a low roar resounded through the mountains, scaring the surrounding warcraft to flee in all directions. As the purple crystal-winged Lion King roared, the purple crystal on its body suddenly shone brightly, and the surging purple flames suddenly burned out of its body. The purple flames gradually curled and rolled, and finally gathered into a huge purple fire column, rushing straight into the sky. Go to hell! The purple crystal-winged Lion King shouted again. And the sky-high purple fire column on its body surface left its body and suddenly shot towards Xiao Fan. The purple crystal-winged Lion King could vaguely sense a threat from Xiao Fan, so he used a big move on Xiao Fan right away. When Xiaoxiao and Xiao Wu saw the terrifying attack of the purple crystal-winged Lion King, their faces changed slightly, and their eyes couldn't help but reveal a bit of tension. However, Xiao Fan, who faced the attack of the purple crystal-winged Lion King, had no expression. The 5 fingers of his right hand opened slightly, and a black swallowing vortex appeared in his palm again, and the terrifying suction force also appeared again. It was the magical power of swallowing the sky and the earth. However, this time, Xiao Fan only slightly exerted a part of the power of his magical power. His target was not the amethyst-winged Lion King, but the purple fire pillar it emitted. Under the terrifying suction of the swallowing vortex in Xiao Fan's palm, the purple fire pillar emitted by the amethyst-winged Lion King was easily sucked in without causing any ripples. The purple fire pillar was quickly refined into pure energy and poured into Xiao Fan's body. This amount of energy was naturally not enough for Xiao Fan to advance, but it was better than nothing. Seeing this, Xiaoxiao and Xiao Wu immediately relaxed their minds, and at the same time they were a little curious about the means Xiao Fan used. The amethyst-winged Lion King did not expect that his attack not only did not hurt the human in front of him, but was also easily absorbed by the other party. His blood-red eyes with purple light stared at Xiao Fan, flashing with doubt. Xiao Fan easily solved the purple flame column, then looked at the purple crystal-winged Lion King and smiled faintly. Come more, this little flame is too little. Roar! Human, you are too presumptuous. The purple crystal-winged Lion King was furious when he heard Xiao Fan's words. The red spiral horns on his head, a huge purple flame half a meter thick, suddenly shot towards Xiao Fan. However, Xiao Fan just moved his hands casually, and the attack of the purple crystal-winged Lion King once again became Xiao Fan's fighting spirit. Damn it, the purple crystal-winged Lion King has already seen that ordinary attacks are of no use to the human in front of him. After another roar, the purple light on the purple crystal-winged Lion King's body suddenly became more and more intense. After a moment, the strong purple light actually enveloped the nearby world. After a long time of brewing, the purple light in the sky suddenly shrank, and in the blink of an eye it shrank into a dark purple light column about half a foot long. Amethyst seal. Following the low roar of the amethyst-winged Lion King, the deep purple light column leaped out like lightning and instantly appeared not far in front of Xiao Fan. Space transfer. Xiao Fan was also a little afraid of this seal ability. After all, he didn't know much about the seal. He immediately shouted and used one of the space abilities he had recently mastered. The next moment, the purple light column emitted by the amethyst-winged Lion King suddenly appeared on it. Before the amethyst-winged Lion King could react, the purple light column sank into its body. Roar! The amethyst-winged Lion King let out a sad and angry roar and turned around to escape. However, Xiao Fan was faster than him. In just a blink of an eye, he arrived in front of it and slapped it hard on the forehead of the amethyst-winged Lion King. Roar! The amethyst-winged Lion King let out a painful cry, and its entire body fell heavily to the ground like a kite with a broken string. Xiao Fan took a step forward and pointed a finger at the purple crystal-winged Lion King's forehead. Crackle! The next moment, a crisp thunderous sound came from the purple crystal-winged Lion King's body, and countless arcs of electricity flashed on it. Roar! Roar! Dot! Under the attack of thunder power, the purple crystal-winged Lion King felt pain and numbness all over his body, and kept shouting in pain. He tried his best to resist, but it was in vain. This was because Xiao Fan held back. Otherwise, the purple crystal-winged Lion King would have turned into energy at this moment. Xiao Fan looked at the purple crystal-winged Lion King, who was screaming continuously, and said lightly, "Purple crystal-winged Lion King, this young master will give you a chance. If you surrender to this young master, I can spare your life. Otherwise, not only you, but also your child, will also die." Of course, if you surrender to this young master will not only be able to make your bloodline further, but also find a transformation pill for you. There is only one chance. You'd better think it over before answering. Chapter 68, Tai and Jade Rabbit, the Field of 10,000 Poisons. The purple crystal-winged Lion King looked at Xiao Fan's deep eyes, and there was no doubt in his heart that as long as he opened his mouth to refuse the other party, he would immediately die on the spot. If it died, even if the other party did not take action, its children would not be able to survive in this monster mountain range where the weak are the prey of the strong. Thinking of this, the purple crystal-winged Lion King couldn't help but struggle and hesitate, and even almost forgot to scream in pain. "It seems that you have chosen death." Xiao Fan did not hear the purple crystal-winged Lion King's answer, and said indifferently, and opened his right hand slightly. The swallowing vortex full of dangerous breath appeared again and aimed at the purple crystal-winged Lion King. The purple crystal-winged Lion King felt it at a close distance at this moment, and could even sense the horror of the black vortex. The hair on his body couldn't help but stand up, and he shouted, "I surrender." The purple crystal-winged Lion King didn't want to die like this, and he couldn't bear to part with his children. Faced with Xiao Fan's threat, he finally chose to surrender. However, in the heart of the purple crystal-winged Lion King, he didn't have much loyalty to Xiao Fan. If there was a chance to get rid of Xiao Fan, it would definitely not hesitate at all. Xiao Fan naturally understood that it would not be easy to make the purple crystal-winged Lion King loyal to him, but he was not anxious. After hearing the purple crystal-winged Lion King's response, his mind moved slightly and he put away his magical powers. "I know that you are unwilling to surrender in your heart, but I will only give you this chance. In the future, if you do anything wrong, I will not hold back. So, if you have any ideas, you'd better consider the consequences." The purple crystal-winged Lion King hurriedly said, "I won't have any other ideas." Xiao Fan said lightly, "That's the best." As soon as he finished speaking, Xiao Fan waved his hand at the purple crystal-winged Lion King, and all the thunder energy was absorbed by his palm, and turned into pure energy to feed back to himself, and the purple crystal-winged Lion King finally stopped suffering from thunder and lightning. Looking at Xiao Fan's magical methods, the purple crystal-winged Lion King's awe of Xiao Fan became stronger. The purple crystal-winged Lion King's body shook a few times, and a burst of purple light flashed, and soon dissolved the seal on his body. After all, the purple crystal seal is its own magical power, so it is not difficult to dissolve it. "Let's go and take a look at your cave," Xiao Fan said lightly when he saw the purple crystal-winged Lion King return to normal. Although the purple crystal-winged Lion King was reluctant, it had to agree to Xiao Fan's request because the situation was not favorable. "Young master, follow me," the purple crystal-winged Lion King responded, and then led the way for Xiao Fan and the other two. Not long after, the three of them followed the purple crystal-winged Lion King and arrived at its cave. The purple crystal-winged Lion King was much cleaner than the earth bear. There was no bad smell in the cave. On the walls of the cave, there were purple crystal blocks, releasing a faint purple halo. The cave where the purple crystal-winged Lion King and his children lived was also covered with several chapters of soft and smooth monster fur. Those monster furs were also processed and very clean. Xiao Fan looked at the situation in the cave and couldn't help but sigh. I didn't expect you to be so clean. The purple crystal-winged Lion King said, we high-level magic beasts have similar intelligence to humans, except for a few sloppy magic beasts. Most of us will keep our living environment very clean and tidy. Roar! In the cave, the little purple crystal-winged Lion King saw his mother coming back with 3 humans, and couldn't help but let out a puzzled low roar. The purple crystal-winged Lion King also roared to comfort it, and the little purple crystal-winged Lion King stopped shouting immediately, looking at Xiao Fan and the other 2, his eyes full of curiosity. Xiao Wu looked at the little purple crystal-winged Lion King and said in surprise, this little purple crystal-winged Lion King is quite cute. Xiao Fan smiled when he heard this. Since you like it, let it be your pet. The purple crystal-winged Lion King heard what Xiao Fan said and hurriedly said, young master, can you please let my child go? It knew that it had no power to resist in front of Xiao Fan, so it could only choose to beg softly. Xiao Fan said, wouldn't it be good to let you and your daughter follow us so that you don't have to endure the pain of separation? Moreover, following us, the benefits you get will be beyond your imagination. Just wait and see. After the voice fell, Xiao Fan's mind moved slightly, and he directly took the little purple crystal-winged lion into the source tower. Without waiting for the purple crystal-winged Lion King to react, Xiao Fan directly took it in. Then, Xiao Fan said to Xiaoxiao and Xiao Wu, you can also follow me. Then, in Xiaoxiao's somewhat puzzled eyes, Xiao Fan took Xiaoxiao and Xiao Wu into the source tower. What is this place? After entering the source tower, Xiaoxiao asked curiously. The purple crystal-winged Lion King also looked at Xiao Fan with some curiosity. It was not the first time for Xiao Wu to enter the source tower, so she was not unfamiliar with it. Xiao Fan said, this is one of my treasures. Well, this is not the point. After speaking, Xiao Fan waved his hand casually, and the little purple crystal-winged Lion King fell into the awakening pool in the hall of the source tower uncontrollably. Seeing this, the purple crystal-winged Lion King was a little worried. Xiao Fan said lightly, just wait and see. This is the first benefit for you. More than an hour later, the little purple crystal-winged Lion King completed the blood awakening in the awakening pool, and its strength unexpectedly broke through from the 3rd level to the 4th level. Sensing its own changes, the little purple crystal-winged Lion King suddenly showed a happy look, and looked at Xiao Fan with a bit of gratitude. The purple crystal-winged Lion King looked at the changes in his child, and his eyes were full of surprises. He was full of curiosity and expectation for the mysterious pool. Xiao Fan said lightly, when you are loyal enough to this young master in the future and make contributions, I will let you enter this pool to improve. Now, don't think about it. The purple crystal-winged Lion King immediately said after hearing this, I will definitely serve you loyally. Xiao Fan nodded slightly, without saying much, and then asked Xiao Wu and Xiaoxiao to go to the awakening pool to awaken. Xiao Wu awakened the blood of Tai and Jade Rabbit. Xiaoxiao did not awaken the power of blood, but awakened a magical power called 10,000 Poisons Field. After the 10,000 Poisons Field is used, there will be no changes in the surroundings, and ordinary people will hardly notice it. Once they step into the 10,000 Poisons Field, they will be corroded by the 10,000 poisons controlled by Xiaoxiao. After learning that Xiao Wu is a rabbit incarnation, Xiaoxiao quickly accepted it. After all, Xiao Wu never cared about her evil poison body. As for Xiao Fan, he just pretended to be surprised for a while, and then looked like he accepted Xiao Wu's identity calmly. Xiao Wu was deeply moved by the attitude of Xiao Fan and Xiaoxiao. When the purple crystal-winged Lion King learned that Xiao Wu was an animal incarnation, he did not reject letting his child follow Xiao Wu. Everyone was happy for a while. Let's go out, remember what happened here, and don't mention it to anyone, Xiao Fan told everyone, and then took them back to the cave of the purple crystal-winged Lion King. As soon as the few people appeared, they found that in the cave of the amethyst-winged Lion King, a figure was coming in from the cave entrance quietly. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 69. An unexpected reunion and a temporary farewell to the two girls. Roar! The purple crystal-winged Lion King roared when he saw someone dare to break into its cave, and was about to release a purple fire column to attack. Stop! But at this moment, Xiao Fan directly stopped the purple crystal-winged Lion King. Yanzi, I didn't expect to meet you here. Then, Xiao Fan looked at the figure who had just entered the cave not far away, and chuckled. Yes, the one who came to the purple crystal-winged Lion King's cave was Xiao Yan, who had left the Xiao family to go out for training before Xiao Fan and Zhao Zun'er. Xiao Yan and Yao Chen had sensed the fluctuations of the purple crystal-winged Lion King fighting with others, so Yao Chen suggested that Xiao Yan go and see it. However, before they arrived at the battle scene, the battle was over. So Xiao Yan had to leave, preparing to train while looting some natural treasures. Unexpectedly, he discovered the purple crystal-winged Lion King's cave. When Xiao Yan and Yao Chen discovered the cave, Xiao Fan was taking the purple crystal-winged Lion King, Xiaoxiao and Zhao Wu into the Yuanqi Tower space. Therefore, neither Xiao Yan nor Yao Chen found the aura of the purple crystal-winged Lion King. Xiao Yan was about to enter the cave to pick up the leak, but he saw the purple crystal-winged Lion King suddenly appeared. He was about to ask Yao Chen to take him away from here, but he heard Xiao Fan's voice. Xiao Yan asked Yao Chen uncertainly, "Teacher, it seems to be my third brother's voice?" Yao Chen also found Xiao Fan at this time and responded, "It is indeed your third brother Xiao Fan. It seems that the one who fought with the purple crystal-winged Lion King before was your third brother Xiao Fan, and he actually subdued the purple crystal-winged Lion King." Yao Chen was also very shocked. Although Yao Chen had already felt Xiao Fan's extraordinariness when he was at the Xiao family, he never thought that Xiao Fan could actually subdue a 6th-level monster like the purple crystal-winged Lion King. As far as he knows, Xiao Fan is only 18 years old. This is too exaggerated. If such a genius and strong man appeared in Zhangzhou, Yao Chen would not be too surprised. But Xiao Fan was born in the northwest continent, a remote and weak place like Yun City. Xiao Yan didn't think too much, but he admired Xiao Fan very much in his heart. Third brother is really amazing. Since third brother has subdued the purple crystal-winged Lion King, let's go. And without worry. After saying that, Xiao Yan no longer restrained his breath, and strode towards the depths of the cave, and soon came to Xiao Fan and his friends. Third brother, I didn't expect to meet you here, and you are too amazing. You can actually subdue a powerful 6th-level monster. Xiao Yan walked to Xiao Fan and said with admiration. Xiao Fan smiled slightly. It's just some opportunities. You have been doing well during this period. With Xiao Fan's current soul-sensing ability, he can easily sense Xiao Yan's cultivation level. After not seeing him for a while, Xiao Yan has grown to the level of a 5-star fighter. Compared with ordinary people, this speed is already very fast. Xiao Yan touched his head. My progress is not comparable to that of third brother. Xiao Fan just smiled when he heard this, and didn't say much. Then, Xiao Yan greeted Xiaoxiao and Zhao Wu. Xiao Fan glanced at the purple crystal-winged Lion King beside him, then looked at Xiao Yan, and after a moment of hesitation, he said, "Since we just happened to meet, I can provide you with a little help so that you can further improve your cultivation." Xiao Yan was immediately delighted when he heard what Xiao Fan said. "Third brother, what good stuff did you get again?" The last time Xiao Fan gave him a foundation-building pill, it directly allowed him to step into the 1-star dues level from the 5th stage of Qi, saving an unknown amount of time. Therefore, Xiao Yan was very much looking forward to what Xiao Fan was about to give him. Xiao Fan did not answer but asked, "You should have a porcelain bottle on you, right?" Xiao Yan is now also an alchemist, and usually prepares a lot of porcelain bottles for pills. Hearing what Xiao Fan said, he immediately said, "Yes." As he said that, Xiao Yan directly took out 5 porcelain bottles and handed them to Xiao Fan. Next, Xiao Fan directly asked the purple crystal-winged Lion King to take out the treasured purple spirit crystal, used the purple spirit crystal to break the shell of the companion purple crystal source, and then filled 5 bottles of companion purple crystal source from it for Xiao Yan. Although the purple crystal winged Lion King was somewhat reluctant, he did not dare to refuse Xiao Fan's request and could only watch Xiao Fan take away part of the companion purple crystal source. Fortunately, Xiao Fan did not do anything too extreme and let the little purple crystal winged Lion King take the remaining companion purple crystal source. The purple crystal winged Lion King kept the companion purple crystal source in order to use it when its child reached the 4th level, and now it was just right. Roar! After swallowing the companion purple crystal source, the little purple crystal winged Lion King let out a low roar and soon broke through to the 5th level. And Xiao Yan, after taking 5 bottles of companion purple crystal source, his cultivation level soared to the 9-star dues before he completely stopped. During this process, Xiao Yan suffered a lot of pain and torture, but fortunately, the Doughty bloodline in his body had awakened, and Xiao Fan assisted him, so he was safe. Thank you, third brother, you helped me a lot again. Sensing the soaring cultivation level in his body, Xiao Yan expressed his gratitude to Xiao Fan. Xiao Yan's cultivation base not only improved greatly, but he also successfully refined the purple fire, which raised his burning technique to a small level. Xiao Fan smiled and said, "I'm afraid your teacher is still complaining in his heart, blaming me for letting you improve too fast. In fact, his worries are unnecessary. The foundation building pills you took before have built a solid foundation for you. In addition, due to the bloodline, it won't have much impact on you. But you still have to fight more monsters, consolidate yourself as much as possible, and make every step more solid and stable." Xiao Yan said solemnly, "Thank you, third brother. I will pay attention to your reminder." Xiao Fan thought for a while and said, "Don't leave too far first. Fight monsters near us for some experience. Then I will take you to Shimo City to meet my eldest brother and second brother. Not far from Shimo City, you may get another opportunity." Xiao Yan asked curiously, "What opportunity?" Xiao Fan smiled mysteriously, "You'll know when the time comes." Seeing that Xiao Fan didn't say anything, Xiao Yan had to suppress his curiosity in his heart. In the next few days, Xiao Yan kept looking for first-level monsters to fight near Xiao Fan and his companions, and soon he firmly stabilized his cultivation at the 9-star fighter realm. Xiao Fan and his 2 daughters also gained a lot in the Monster Mountain range. On this day, after Xiao Yan's realm was stabilized, he took the initiative to find Xiao Fan and asked tentatively, "Third brother, when are we going to Shimo City?" Xiao Yan missed his 2 brothers a little, and at the same time, he was also looking forward to the opportunity mentioned by Xiao Fan. Hearing this, Xiao Fan couldn't help but look in the direction of Xiaoxian and Xiao Wu on the side. Xiaoxian pondered for a moment, and suddenly said, "Brother Xiao, why don't you and Xiao Yan go to Shimo City first? I will stay in the Monster Mountain range and improve myself." Xiaoxian found that the spiritual medicines harvested during this period were basically useless to Xiao Fan, and Xiao Fan gave them all to Xiao Yan and them. Xiaoxian didn't know that the part Xiao Fan gave to Xiao Yan was naturally for Xiao Yan and Yao Lao to refine pills. Xiaoxian thought that Xiao Fan only stayed in the Monster Mountain range so that she could use the poisonous herbs in the Monster Mountain range to improve herself, so she made this suggestion. Xiao Fan looked at Xiaoxian's appearance and probably guessed some of her thoughts. He hesitated for a moment and said, "Okay, I'll leave Xiao Jin to protect you, and Xiao Yan and I will go to Shimo City first." On the one hand, Xiao Fan didn't want Xiaoxian to have too much psychological burden. On the other hand, Xiao Fan felt that it was a bit inconvenient to take Xiaoxian with him for his next move. After all, his purpose of going to Shimo City, in addition to collecting the Azure Lotus Earth Core Fire, was to conquer Queen Medusa. After Xiaoxian, Xiao Wu also proposed to stay with Xiaoxian. So Xiao Fan left Xiao Jin to protect the 2 girls, and he took the purple crystal winged Lion King and Xiao Yan to the direction of Shimo City. Chapter 70 Brothers reunite and meet King Lin. 3 days later, Xiao Fan and Xiao Yan, the 2 brothers, came to the city of Shimo City, which is located on the eastern outskirts of the Tiger Desert. After arriving at the gate of Shimo City, Xiao Fan's mind moved slightly, and he directly put the purple crystal winged Lion King into the Source Energy Tower, in order to prevent the purple crystal winged Lion King from using the awakening pool on his own. Xiao Fan put the awakening pool into the system space, because the system space can only allow the creatures rewarded by the system to survive. Other creatures entering it may be in danger of their lives, so Xiao Fan has an extra procedure. Otherwise, he would have directly put the purple crystal-winged Lion King into the system space. After putting away the purple crystal-winged Lion King, Xiao Fan and Xiao Yan walked into Shimo City. The two asked around in Shimo City and found out that the location of the Desert Iron Mercenary Group was in the south of Shimo City. Xiao Fan and Xiao Yan then walked towards the south of the city. After turning a few streets, a courtyard that was almost as large as the Zhao family courtyard in Mutant City appeared in their sight. Above the courtyard, a flag swayed in the wind. On the flag, the characters Modi Mercenary Group were painted, revealing a strong and iron-blooded aura. At the gate of the compound, several sturdy men were standing upright with weapons in their hands, scanning the passers-by with sharp eyes. "Who are you? What are you doing in the Modi Mercenary Group?" Seeing Xiao Fan and Xiao Yan approaching, one of the men stepped forward and asked Xiao Fan and Xiao Yan with a vigilant look. The other men also looked tense, ready to take action at any time. Xiao Fan said lightly, "Go and inform your two captains that Xiao Fan and Xiao Yan are here to see them." "Surname Zhao, are you from the clan of our captain?" "Wait a minute." The man's expression eased a lot when he heard Xiao Fan's words. As he spoke, he quickly walked into the Modi Mercenary Group. Seeing this, Xiao Yan was a little surprised and said, "Third brother, it seems that the mercenary group created by the eldest and second brothers is quite powerful." Xiao Fan smiled faintly. "Not bad." Xiao Fan also reluctantly praised it for the sake of his two brothers. If this Modi mercenary group belonged to someone else, Xiao Fan would not even look at it. The several big men at the gate of the yard were a little unhappy when they heard Xiao Fan's words, but they didn't care about it when they thought that Xiao Fan might be the younger brother of their leader. Not long after, Xiao Ding and Xiao Li walked out of the yard quickly with happy faces. "Third brother, fourth brother, you are really here, so good." Seeing Xiao Fan and Xiao Yan, Xiao Ding immediately exclaimed in surprise, and Xiao Li's face was also full of joy. Xiao Ding and Xiao Li are very close to their two younger brothers, Xiao Fan and Xiao Yan. Xiao Fan smiled and said, "Xiao Yanzi and I went out for training and passed through Shimo City, so we came to see the two brothers." Okay, let's go and talk first," Xiao Ding said to the two with a happy face, and then took them to the courtyard of the mercenary group. Seeing this, the mercenaries guarding the gate of the courtyard looked at each other and felt a little lucky that they had not offended Xiao Fan and Xiao Yan before. After entering the inner courtyard, the four brothers had a cordial conversation, which goes without saying. When Xiao Ding and Xiao Li learned that Xiao Yan's talent had returned and was about to break through the realm of Qi, they were very surprised. Next, Xiao Fan and Xiao Yan stayed in the Modi mercenary group for a few days. Xiao Fan also told Xiao Yan that the purpose of coming to the Tiger Desert this time was to find the Azure Lotus Earth Core Fire, and then let Yao Chen prepare some auxiliary items that could allow Yan to absorb the Azure Lotus Earth Core Fire. That's right, Xiao Fan was going to let Xiao Yan absorb and refine the Azure Lotus Earth Core Fire. This Azure Lotus Earth Heart Fire can only be said to be the icing on the cake for Xiao Fan, and its effect is not too exaggerated. However, if Xiao Yan absorbs the Azure Lotus Earth Heart Fire, he can directly improve his quality. After Xiao Yan learned about this, his gratitude to Xiao Fan was even stronger. Xiao Yan didn't know that even without Xiao Fan's help, Yao Chen would help him get the Azure Lotus Earth Heart Fire. Xiao Fan helped Xiao Yan not only because of brotherhood, but also to make up for Xiao Yan. However, Xiao Fan couldn't help Xiao Yan all the time. The road ahead still depended on Xiao Yan himself. Of course, if Xiao Fan broke through the Demperor, Xiao Yan's cultivation would soar under the bonus of the Demperor's bloodline. That would be another matter. While Xiao Yan and Yao Chen were preparing materials, Xiao Fan casually wandered around Shimo City. Next to Xiao Fan, there was a cute and lovely maid dressed in green as his guide. This girl was King Lin, who had the three-flower pupil of the green snake. On the second day after Xiao Fan joined the Desert Iron Mercenary Group, he discovered King Lin's existence. When Xiao Ding arranged a maid for him, he directly chose King Lin. Xiao Fan deliberately made friends with her. After a few days, King Lin soon became more fond of Xiao Fan and was rarely relaxed in front of Xiao Fan. Xiao Fan was strolling in the city accompanied by King Lin, and suddenly sensed a special breath. Seeing Xiao Fan's expression change, King Lin said cautiously. Third young master, what's wrong? Nothing. Xiao Fan shook his head slightly, and then asked casually, King Lin, do you know what is the place around the corner? King Lin recalled a little and replied, well, there is a store selling desert maps, but our mercenary group often acts in the desert, and there is no shortage of maps. Xiao Fan heard King Lin's words, and his heart moved slightly. Let's go to that store and take a look. Maybe we can get unexpected gains. King Lin naturally had no objection to Xiao Fan's decision, and immediately led Xiao Fan to the store selling maps. After Xiao Fan brought King Lin into the store, he glanced casually and saw an old man behind the counter concentrating on drawing a map. Although the old man had white hair and looked quite old, his hand holding the drawing pen was still steady and strong. Xiao Fan released his soul power and carefully sensed the old man. He soon understood why the breath he had just sensed was a little special. The old man's original cultivation should have been at the Duang level, but now he has been sealed, and his cultivation strength is only at the Ling level. Sensing this scene and thinking of the characters and plots in the original work, Xiao Fan couldn't help but smile. The old man saw Xiao Fan enter the shop and didn't choose a map, but kept looking at him. He couldn't help but frowned, stopped what he was doing, looked at Xiao Fan and said, Sir, if you want to buy a map, please choose it yourself. If you are not a customer who wants to buy a map, please leave. Don't you know that it is very impolite to keep staring at others? Xiao Fan smiled faintly. I'm just a little curious. Why would a dignified Duang strongman start a business of selling maps in such a small place? Swish. Hearing Xiao Fan's words, the old man's face suddenly changed, and a sharp light suddenly appeared in his eyes. He stared at Xiao Fan closely. Who are you? What is your purpose in coming to see me? Chapter 71, The Promise with the Ice Emperor. New features in the chat group. Xiao Fan said casually, don't be so nervous. I was just bored and strolling around. Not far from your store, I sensed a special aura, so I came to take a look. I didn't expect to meet a Duang-level strongman. In fact, Xiao Fan knew in his heart that if nothing unexpected happened, this old man should be one of the 10 strongest men in the Jiama Empire, the Ice Emperor Hai Bodong. After all, there are only a few Duangs in the Jiama Empire. There is no one else except Hai Bodong who has the experience of being sealed and still selling maps. In fact, this is exactly the case. Hai Bodong didn't believe what Xiao Fan said when he heard it, and said coldly, in this case, please leave. Our store doesn't welcome you. No hurry. Xiao Fan shook his head slightly and waved at an ancient wooden frame in the store. Suddenly, a broken picture the size of a palm flew from the wooden frame into his hand. Looking at the familiar route on the broken picture, Xiao Fan nodded slightly. As expected, this is exactly one part of the route map of the Pure Lotus Demon Fire. When Hai Bodong saw this scene, his expression condensed slightly. Do you know what this incomplete map is used for? Yes, I do know. Xiao Fan nodded slightly, and continued. If I guessed correctly, this map should have been cut into 2 parts by you, right? I want these 2 parts of the incomplete map. You name a price. Hai Bodong's eyes condensed, and he said in a deep voice, I don't sell this thing. Please return the one in your hand to me. Xiao Fan smiled slightly. I always believe that there is no business in this world that cannot be negotiated, only prices that cannot be negotiated. Of course, the price I refer to is not just gold coins. For example, solving your problem. When Hai Bodong heard this, the words of rejection that were on his lips were swallowed back, and he frowned and said, Can you tell what's wrong with my body? Xiao Fan said, If I'm not mistaken, you should have been sealed, so your cultivation level has dropped from the Duang realm to the current Ling level, right? When Hai Bodong heard Xiao Fan's words, he suddenly felt a little hopeful. Yes, I got this incomplete map by chance in the Tiger Desert, but it attracted the pursuit of Queen Medusa of the Snake Tribe. You have to know that Queen Medusa is the top powerhouse among the Duang. I failed in the battle with her. Although I escaped by chance, I was also hit by her snake seal curse. Not only did my body age rapidly, but my strength was also sealed to the Ling level. If you can really remove the seal on my body, why not give you this incomplete map? Xiao Fan shook his head slightly. This is not enough. Hai Bodong said in a deep voice, What do you want? Xiao Fan stroked his chin, pondered for a while, and slowly said, How about this? After helping you remove the seal, in addition to giving me this incomplete map, you will also serve in my family for 10 years, mainly responsible for protecting my father's safety. Xiao Fan still trusted Hai Bodong's credibility. With him, Xiao Yan and Zhao Xun are all leaving Yun City. The Zhao family no longer had any hidden cards. With Hai Bodong, the Huang, at least the Zhao family is basically protected in the entire Jiama Empire. In case of a stronger foreign enemy, Hai Bodong can at least hold on for a while, giving him time to return for rescue. Upon hearing this, Hai Bodong's face changed for a while, and he said in a deep voice, 5 years at most. Okay, 5 years. Xiao Fan agreed without hesitation. Xiao Fan proposed 10 years, just ready for Hai Bodong to bargain. Hai Bodong's face changed slightly. Why did he feel that he said too much? But since he had already agreed, he would not regret it. Hai Bodong adjusted his mood a little, and said to Xiao Fan, in this case, then you help me lift the seal now. Xiao Fan shook his head slightly. I can't help you lift the seal for the time being. Hai Bodong's face sank when he heard this. Are you kidding me? Boom. Xiao Fan was too lazy to say more nonsense, releasing the powerful aura of the Zhong realm, and suddenly pressed towards Hai Bodong. Are you, Zhong? Sensing the powerful aura of Xiao Fan that was released and retracted, Hai Bodong's heart suddenly set off a storm. When did a Zhong master appear in the Jiama Empire? Moreover, he is such a young Zhong. It is so terrifying. You are not mistaken. Xiao Fan glanced at Hai Bodong and said lightly, do you think this young master has nothing to do and will come to play with you? I am just saying that temporarily, within 3 months at most, I will help you remove the seal, and you'd better keep your promise. Understand? I will keep my promise. But, young master, you are already a Zhong master. What use can I, a Huang, be in your family? After learning that Xiao Fan is a Zhong master, Hai Bodong's attitude suddenly became respectful. Xiao Fan said, I just had a strange encounter, so my strength is not bad. The strongest in my family is only at the level of a great master. I see, young master, rest assured, as long as you remove the seal for me, I will definitely keep my promise. Hai Bodong heard it, and understood in his heart, and immediately promised. Then it settled. Xiao Fan nodded slightly, and then said, by the way, I forgot to ask what your name is. Hai Bodong clasped his fists and said, I'm Hai Bodong. So it's the Ice Emperor Hai Bodong. I've heard of your legend. Xiao Fan pretended to be surprised, and then said, my family is a small family in Yun City of the Jiama Empire. My name is Xiao Fan, and my father, Zhan, is the patriarch of the family. Hai Bodong said, I'll remember it. Well, that's it. I'm leaving first. You stay here and wait for my news. Xiao Fan saw that his goal was achieved, so he didn't stay any longer. Sir, take care. Hai Bodong respectfully sent Xiao Fan out of the store, and looked at Xiao Fan's departing back, with a slightly complicated look in his eyes. After leaving Hai Bodong's shop, King Lin looked at Xiao Fan and said with some admiration, Third young master, you are so amazing. You are already a Zhong strongman. Xiao Fan rubbed King Lin's little head and smiled. If you work hard, you will soon reach the Zhong realm. King Lin lowered her head slightly and said timidly, King Lin dare not be compared with the third young master. Xiao Fan supported King Lin's chin and asked her to raise her head. He said seriously, King Lin, you have to be more confident. You can definitely become a strong man. After a pause, Xiao Fan let go of King Lin's chin and smiled. Besides, even if you don't believe in yourself, you should believe in your young master's vision. King Lin nodded. Well, I believe in the young master. I will definitely work hard to practice and become a strong man. Xiao Fan looked at King Lin's appearance and couldn't help but smile, but didn't continue the topic. The two wandered around Shimo City for a while, and when they saw that it was getting late, they returned to the station of the Desert Iron Mercenary Group. In the evening, Xiao Fan had dinner with his 3 brothers, and then returned to his room in the mercenary group. After returning to the room, Xiao Fan immersed his consciousness in the chat group as usual, preparing to hang out in the group for a while before taking a rest. The chat group of all realms. Chat interface. Xiao Fan, good evening, everyone. Yan Lingjai, good evening, brother Xiao Fan. Blowing a kiss. Huang Rong, hello, brother Xiao Fan. Soon, The members of the group greeted Xiao Fan one after another. After chatting for a while, Xiaoxiao suddenly added Xiao Fan in the group. Xiaoxiao, at Xiao Fan, Lord Thunder Emperor, I have finally completed the task you assigned to me. After some hard work, I successfully passed the assessment and became a formal member of the special department. After some inquiries, I also had a new understanding of the strength of the strong in our world. Xiao Fan, at Xiaoxiao, let's get to the point. Xiaoxiao, according to the information I got from the seniors in the special department, in our world, the ancient warriors are ranked from weak to strong, namely, acquired, innate, master, grand master, king, emperor, and the strongest guardian. Xiaoxiao, however, guardian is not a realm, but a respectful title. The strongest among the superpowers is also called a guardian. It is said that there are only 7 guardians in the world. By the way, I wonder what realm you are in now, Lord Thunder Emperor? Xiao Fan, 7-starred Zong. That's right. During the time Xiao Fan was in the Warcraft mountain range, he used the heaven-swallowing and earth-devouring divine power to devour many natural treasures and Warcraft, and his cultivation level was raised by 1 star. Xiaoxiao, Zong strongman, so terrifying. He is already a 7-starred Zong at the age of 18. Lord Thunder Emperor, please accept my worship. Kowtow, Wan, worship Lord Thunder Emperor. Kowtow. Afterwards, others followed Xiaoxiao's example and worshipped Xiao Fan. Xiao Fan, okay, everyone, stop rushing. At Xiaoxiao, I am going to your world to help you eliminate the demons and restore peace and prosperity. Get ready to kneel down and welcome you. Picking nose, Xiaoxiao, kneel down to welcome Lord Thunder Emperor. Kneeling, Xiao Fan smiled and did not respond to the group message. He directly used the chat group's shuttle function to go to the demon revival world. Ding, the chat group activity has reached the standard, activating the task function. At this moment, the Wanji chat group, which had not had any prompts for a long time, suddenly issued a group prompt again. Chapter 72. Xiaoxiao kneels down to greet him. A task as difficult as ascending to heaven. Chat interface of Wanji chat group. Yan Lingjai, huh? Has the chat group activated a new function? Curious. Huangrong. From the meaning of the group prompt, it seems that if you complete the group task, you can get a random reward? I wonder what kind of group task there will be. Yi Wen, I hope the task is not too difficult. Wan, if I encounter a difficult task, I wonder if I can ask someone for help. If I can ask group members for help, it seems that there is nothing to worry about. Zhu Yuanzhang, Miss Wan is right. While everyone in the chat group was discussing, Xiao Fan had already traveled to the world of demon revival through the chat group. Xiao Fan had been to the world of demon revival more than once before. According to his judgment, the Grand Master of the world of demon revival is about the same as the Ling of the world of Qi. Then the king, emperor, and guardian should be equivalent to the level of Duang, Duang, and Zong respectively. The overall strength of humans is not much different from that of demons. Otherwise humans might have been destroyed long ago. Therefore, the strongest demons in the demon resurrection world are probably comparable to Zong level. Even if there are hidden ones, they are at most comparable to the 8th level magic beasts of human Zun. Xiao Fan has the magical power of Long Wei, which restrains all beasts. It is no problem for him to cross levels and kill the demons of the 8th level magic beasts. Safety is guaranteed, and killing these demons can also improve his cultivation. Xiao Fan will certainly not miss such a good opportunity. Xiao Fan just arrived in the demon resurrection world and saw a room full of pink. Xiaoxiao was wearing a loose pajamas, with her hips raised, kneeling on the bed, and her graceful curves were fascinating. As Xiaoxiao's upper body leaned down, a pair of dazzling headlights came into view through the wide collar of her pajamas. Ahem, what are you doing? Xiao Fan subconsciously glanced at the headlights, quickly looked away, and said unhappily. Xiaoxiao said as if it was a matter of course, Lord Thunder Emperor, didn't you ask me to kneel down to welcome you? Xiao Fan glared at Xiaoxiao. It was just a joke in the group. Is there any need to be so serious? Xiaoxiao said softly. Lord Thunder Emperor's order, I must do my best to do it. Okay, I'll go out first. You change your clothes, and then I'll take you to hunt monsters and earn points. Xiao Fan accidentally glanced at Xiaoxiao's collar again, gave her instructions, and then quickly left the room. Xiaoxiao looked at Xiao Fan's somewhat awkward departure, with a cunning look in her eyes and a light laugh. Xiaoxiao certainly did it on purpose. After traveling to this world for a while, Xiaoxiao has fully realized the horror of this world of demon resurrection and has become accustomed to the rules of this world. In this chaotic world of demon resurrection, relying on the strong is the best choice for many beautiful women. In Xiaoxiao's heart, Xiao Fan is undoubtedly the most suitable strong man for her, so she flirted with Xiao Fan intentionally or unintentionally, just wanting to become Xiao Fan's woman. Now it seems that the effect is not bad. As for love and other things, Xiaoxiao feels that it is not too late to cultivate it later. After all, she thinks that Xiao Fan is such an excellent man, and she will definitely fall in love with him sooner or later. While her thoughts were flying, Xiaoxiao took off her pajamas without hesitation, exposing her body to the air, not worrying that Xiao Fan would return, and even expected Xiao Fan to return to the room and go straight to her. A quarter of an hour later, Xiaoxiao changed into a refreshing sports suit and opened the door and walked out of the room. Although Xiaoxiao wanted to tease Xiao Fan, she knew that she would face a vicious demon next, so she didn't dare to deliberately wear a sexy skirt or something that would affect her agility. Now that we're done, let's go, Xiao Fan said casually when he saw Xiaoxiao coming out. Okay. Xiaoxiao had no objection to this. Xiao Fan didn't waste any more words. He took a step forward and put his arm around Xiaoxiao's slender waist. In Xiaoxiao's somewhat puzzled eyes, Xiao Fan directly used his space shuttle ability to break a space wormhole in Xiaoxiao's home and took Xiaoxiao into the space wormhole. In a flash, Xiao Fan and Xiaoxiao walked out of the other end of the space wormhole and appeared in a mountain full of matic atmosphere. In the area of dozens of miles around them, there were all kinds of strange monsters everywhere. Mr. Zhao, didn't you say that you were at the 7-star Zong realm? How did you use the space shuttle ability of a Zun strongman? After landing again, Xiaoxiao asked Xiao Fan with a surprised face. Xiao Fan smiled faintly, because I'm handsome. I've mastered Zun's space shuttle ability in advance. Xiaoxiao nodded seriously. I think it's very likely. After all, there are probably not many people as handsome as Mr. Zhao in the world. Xiao Fan stretched out his hand and flicked Xiaoxiao's forehead, and couldn't help laughing. Xiaoxiao looked serious. What he said is true. Xiao Fan shook his head slightly, too lazy to continue the topic. Let's go hunt monsters. I'll listen to Mr. Zhao. Xiaoxiao heard the words and smiled and agreed. Ding. Trigger the task. Task content. Solve the current world monster crisis and eliminate the source of monster revival. Task reward, 50 million points. Task failure. The current world is destroyed. Xiaoxiao just responded to Xiao Fan, and suddenly the task reminder of the chat group of the 10,000 worlds rang in her mind. Hearing the task content and the reward points, Xiaoxiao couldn't help but feel surprised and happy. This is 50 million points. However, the difficulty of the task is also very high. When Xiaoxiao saw the consequences of the mission failure, her scalp suddenly tingled and she trembled. The world is destroyed. Do you want to play so big? Xiao Fan saw Xiaoxiao's abnormal expression and asked casually, what's wrong? Xiaoxiao said bitterly, I received a task from the chat group. Xiao Fan raised his eyebrows slightly. Why? Is the task very difficult? Xiaoxiao nodded slightly. For me, it is as difficult as ascending to heaven. The task content is to solve the demon crisis in the world and eliminate the source of the demon revival. The most terrifying thing is that once the task fails, the world I live in will be destroyed. Xiao Fan was surprised when he heard Xiaoxiao's introduction. This task was indeed as difficult as ascending to heaven for Xiaoxiao. Xiao Fan pondered for a while and said to Xiaoxiao, can you try to refuse this task? Xiao Fan was actually worried that he would trigger tasks beyond his ability in the future, so he asked Xiaoxiao to explore the way for him in advance. As for the mission triggered by Xiaoxiao, Xiao Fan felt that he should have a good chance of completing it. I'll give it a try. Xiaoxiao's eyes lit up when she heard this, and she immediately tried to communicate with the chat group in her heart. Soon, Xiaoxiao's face showed despair again. You can refuse the mission, but the world will still be destroyed. Xiao Fan frowned when he heard this. What's the specific situation? Chapter 73. Everyone gathers together to kill the monsters and is noticed by another world. Xiaoxiao said with a frustrated look. According to the chat group's response, after the mission fails, the current world will be destroyed. This is not a mission punishment, but the original ending. The chat group found out about this ending in advance, which has a huge impact on me as a member of the group. So this mission was triggered. Xiao Fan was relieved when he heard this. It was good that there would be no terrible punishment for refusing the mission or failing the mission. As for whether the demon world would be destroyed after the resurrection, it had no effect on him. Xiaoxiao seemed to see through Xiao Fan's thoughts and said aggrievedly, Lord Thunder Emperor, I am your little fan girl. Can you watch me perish along with the world and do nothing? Xiao Fan pondered for a moment and asked, did the chat group tell you how long it would take for the current world to be destroyed if you don't accept the task? Xiaoxiao said, the time is uncertain. It mainly depends on the degree of the demon's revival and its destructive power to the current world. It may be as long as hundreds or thousands of years or as short as a few years. In fact, it is not accurate to say that the world is destroyed. To be precise, only the human world is destroyed. Xiao Fan couldn't help laughing when he heard it. Then you don't have to worry too much. Maybe when you die of old age, the human world will still be fine. It won't affect you. What are you afraid of? Xiaoxiao said, I have joined the chat group now. After taking the blood body you gave me last time, my cultivation level has been directly raised to the 9th level of the Grand Master. I am only one step away from the Grand Master. I will definitely be able to improve in the future. Maybe I can live for hundreds or thousands of years. It will definitely have an impact on me. If it didn't affect me, the chat group would not trigger this task. That's it. With the chat group, your strength will definitely improve quickly. The more demons you kill, the faster you will improve. You can also ask group members for help. What is there to worry about? Just take the task. After Xiaoxiao finished speaking, Xiao Fan said casually, according to Xiaoxiao, her task can be said to have no time limit. The only time limit is the time the demons destroy the human world. While Xiaoxiao hunts demons to improve herself, she can also extend the time the demons destroy the human world to a certain extent, so there is no need to worry too much. The most important thing is that Xiaoxiao has a group of helpers in the chat group, especially Xiao Fan, a powerful helper. Xiaoxiao soon figured this out, and her eyes lit up. Lord Thunder Emperor, you are so insightful. You saw through everything in an instant. I love you so much. Excited, Xiaoxiao hugged Xiao Fan and kissed him hard. Xiao Fan didn't expect Xiaoxiao to do this suddenly, and was slightly stunned, but there was no need for him to resist such a beautiful woman's kiss, so he accepted it calmly and took the initiative to fight back. Ahem. After a long time, the two separated from each other. Xiaoxiao was almost suffocated, and she coughed because of the choking, and her face was also rarely flushed. Xiaoxiao adjusted her breathing rate and said in a soft voice, Lord Thunder Emperor, this is my first kiss, and I will rely on you from now on. Xiao Fan smiled, although you took advantage of me first, I won't bother with you. If you want to be my woman, you must live a stable life and become strong, so you should complete the task in the chat group first. When Xiaoxiao heard Xiao Fan's words, her heart was relieved. Okay, then complete the task first. As for my flower, Lord Thunder Emperor can pick it at any time. After Xiaoxiao mustered up the courage to say this, she quickly lowered her head slightly, not daring to look into Xiao Fan's eyes. She communicated with the chat group in her heart and took on the task that had been triggered before. After accepting the task, Xiaoxiao suddenly thought of something. By the way, Lord Thunder Emperor, there are too many demons in our world now. Why don't we invite some group of friends to come and help hunt some? This is a win-win situation. Xiao Fan hesitated for a moment and nodded. Okay, invite them. With Xiao Fan's approval, Xiaoxiao immediately told everyone in the group about the task. and then invited everyone to hunt demons in the demon revival world. Huang Rong, I didn't expect that Miss Su would trigger the group task just after the chat group activated the task function, and this difficulty is too great. Surprised, Yan Lingjai, at Xiaoxiao, what level am I in your world? If I go there, I won't be killed by the demons, right? Fear, Xiaoxiao. The realm in front of our world is basically the same as the realm in the martial arts world. You are also at the Grandmaster level in our world, which is still very strong. Moreover, with Lord Thunder Emperor here, you can rest assured. Yan Lingjai, that's right, Brother Xiao Fan is there. If I encounter danger, he will definitely not stand by and watch me die. Okay, please invite me. Let the demons from the other world feel the power of Yan Lingjai. Playful. Qian Renxu, I'll go too, count me in. Huang Rong, and me, Miss Su, please invite me too. Zhangbo, I also want to see the demons from the other world. Miss Su, please invite me. Soon, all the members in the group expressed their willingness to go to the demon revival world to help Xiaoxiao hunt demons and complete the task. Before, Xiao Fan gave the blood body, and the weakest group member has now reached the master level, which can be regarded as some self-protection power. It's not bad to be able to hunt soul beasts to earn points and get Xiaoxiao's favor. What's more, with Xiao Fan, the big guy, they have more confidence in their hearts. In addition, they have one last way out. In case of a fatal threat, they can directly return to the original world through the chat group. Not long after, all the members of the chat group gathered for the first time in the demon revival world. Lord Thunder Emperor, Brother Xiao Fan, Young Master Xiao. After everyone appeared, they greeted Xiao Fan one after another, and then it was Xiaoxiao's turn. Xiaoxiao understood this very well. Xiao Fan looked at the gathered people and nodded with satisfaction. Yes, everyone is here. Chat group members should help each other and promote everyone's common development and progress. This time I helped Xiaoxiao. Next time, if other group members have difficulties, they can also invite everyone to help. Lord Thunder Emperor is right. Everyone agreed after hearing this. Xiao Fan waved his hand. You can call me by my name, or Young Master Xiao. No need to be so polite. Now that everyone is here, let's start the journey of hunting monsters and let the monsters in this world begin to tremble. With Xiao Fan's order, everyone immediately rushed towards the monster concentration area. According to the standards of the demon resurrection world, Xiao Fan is already at the guardian level, Qian Renxu is at the emperor level, Zhangba and Qian are at the king level, Huang Rong, Yan Lingjai, and Zhu Yuanzhang are 3 great masters, and Yi Wen, Xiaoxiao, and Zhang Yuan are at the master level. Such a team is comparable to the power of the country in the demon resurrection world. In just half an hour, it has advanced 10 miles vertically towards the demon area. Within 10 miles vertically, all demons are destroyed. Huang Rong, Yan Lingjai and other group members are now full of excitement. In just half an hour, they have almost gained tens of thousands of points. For them, this speed of earning points is already amazing. Only Xiao Fan, who doesn't care about the gains at this stage, is still too low level for the demons on the periphery. At this moment, a watch on Xiaoxiao's wrist suddenly rang. This is a special call watch made in the demon resurrection world. It is very sturdy and will not be easily damaged unless it is deliberately attacked. Yan Lingjai asked curiously, "What is this?" "A communication tool," Xiaoxiao responded, and then said to Xiao Fan, "Mr. Xiao, this is a call from my superior in the special department." Xiao Fan said casually, "Just answer it." Xiaoxiao nodded slightly and quickly answered the call. After listening to what the other party said, Xiaoxiao looked at Xiao Fan hesitantly. Xiao Fan said indifferently, "Something related to me?" Chapter 74, Joining Forces to Hunt Demons. The world is shocked. Xiaoxiao nodded slightly. The people above noticed our demon hunting operation just now through satellite images. We hope that everyone can join the special department and fight against demons together with the national forces. Xiaoxiao did not hang up the phone, so the people on the other end of the phone also heard what Xiaoxiao said to Xiao Fan and others, and also looked forward to Xiao Fan's response. Xiao Fan said lightly, You know our situation. It is impossible to join the special department. We will leave before dawn. Everyone, as long as you are willing to join the special department and act in sync with the country, you can put forward any requirements. Without Xiaoxiao's message, the person on the other side heard Xiao Fan's answer and directly invited Xiao Fan and others solemnly. In fact, what they value most is of course Xiao Fan, the top guardian-level strongman. In addition, Qian Renxu, the emperor-level, and Zamba and Qianqian, the two king-levels, are also valued. Others are just incidental. There is no need to mention this matter again. You can ask Xiaoxiao for the specific reason tomorrow. That's it, Xiao Fan said casually, and he didn't intend to pay attention to the other party. Seeing this, the other party felt a little regretful, but he could only talk to Xiaoxiao again. After a while, Xiaoxiao said again, "The superiors hope to send people from special departments to hunt monsters with us, and at the same time broadcast satellites to enhance the confidence of the Chinese people in fighting monsters, and also take the opportunity to deter other countries. The main reason is that the strength shown by Xiao Fan and his team is too strong, especially Xiao Fan, who is like Thor descending to the world, and can easily destroy a large number of monsters. Recently, the world has changed with the revival of monsters, and various forces are constantly competing. Seeing that it is impossible to recruit Xiao Fan and others to join the army, the panda country has retreated to the second best and wants to take this opportunity to strengthen the country's prestige. The world where Xiaoxiao is located, as well as the national structure, is quite similar to the world before Xiao Fan crossed over. Therefore, Xiao Fan naturally felt close to the country where Xiaoxiao was, and the number of demons was too large. It was unknown how long it would take for the 10 of them to wipe them all out. It was not unacceptable that the other party was willing to join forces. After hearing Xiaoxiao's words, Xiao Fan hesitated for a moment and nodded. Yes, as long as their people can catch up. Xiaoxiao was relieved to see Xiao Fan agreed, and quickly responded to the other party, and hung up the phone after a few polite words. After hanging up the phone, Xiaoxiao said, "It may take them half an hour to an hour to arrive. This is the case when the technology in this world is advanced and the speed of aircraft has been greatly improved." Xiao Fan didn't care about it. Let's continue to hunt demons. After that, Xiao Fan took the lead and rushed into the depths of the demon territory. Zhu Yuanzhang, Qian Renxu and others followed without hesitation. After Xiao Fan and his companions had been hunting monsters for another half an hour, the first group of people from the special department of the Panda Kingdom finally arrived. Then, new people from the special department joined one after another. Among the last group of people who arrived, there was actually a person who was comparable to the Zhong level. It was the guardian of the Panda Kingdom, Long Wu, but it was said that Long Wu was just his pseudonym. "Mr. Zhao, everyone, hello, my name is Long Wu, and I am the leader of this team. I hope that we can work together to eliminate the monsters." After Long Wu arrived, he took the initiative to walk to Xiao Fan, stretched out his hand to Xiao Fan, and said politely. Xiao Fan stretched out his hand and shook it with him, and said lightly, "Hello." Xiao Fan could sense that Long Wu's realm was roughly equivalent to the level of a 3-star Zhong. It seems that the strong man in this world of monster revival is a little weaker than he imagined. However, Xiao Fan naturally would not express his thoughts. Seeing that Xiao Fan had no intention of saying more, Long Wu nodded and withdrew his hand. Then he turned to the hundreds of elites from the special departments behind him and said loudly, "Everyone, this is a temporary demon hunting operation. It will be broadcast live by satellite to the whole world. I hope everyone can show our style, do our best to eliminate demons and expand the scope of the human safety zone. I won't say much nonsense. Team leaders, lead your people, and start the demon hunting." Soon, hundreds of elites from special departments, together with Xiao Fan and others, frantically hunted demons. Not long after the demon hunting operation officially began, the satellite broadcast of Panda Country was directly synchronized to the world's network. At the beginning of the live broadcast, a host first made a few opening remarks and explained the reason why Panda Country launched this demon hunting operation. Of course, the reason was just a formality. It was all set by the superiors, and the host was just reading it out. Seeing the live broadcast, netizens from all over the world were boiling. What's going on? Why did the panda country suddenly send a large number of elite troops to the demon area? Did they find some treasure in that area? Hiss. When did the panda country have a super strong man? That man looks young, but his strength is so terrifying. With a wave of his hand, thunder fell from the sky, and a large number of demons were directly struck by thunder and turned into charcoal. He is too strong. While ordinary netizens were discussing it, the leaders of several major countries naturally noticed the live broadcast. In the world of demon resurrection, there are a total of 7 guardian-level strongmen in various countries. In addition to Long Wu from the panda country, the bald eagle, polar bear, Gallic chicken, John Bull, and Japan each have a guardian-level strongman. In addition, the last guardian-level strongman is a Saint Seiya, who has hardly left the hall. The leaders of several major countries changed their faces when they saw that the panda country had a guardian-level strongman, especially the leaders of Japan and the bald eagle, who have a bad relationship with the panda country, could not help but feel shocked and angry. The Japanese emperor, together with the cabinet members, watched the live broadcast with an ugly expression. Damn it, when did the Panda Kingdom have another guardian-level strongman? How did you get the intelligence? Why didn't you receive any news? The cabinet prime minister said in a deep voice. Now anger can't change the facts. The Panda Kingdom has a guardian-level strongman. Not only are we unhappy, but I'm afraid other countries may not be happy. Maybe we can try to unite with other countries and find a way to get rid of the new guardian. After all, he is too young. At the same time, the top leaders of major countries were discussing what attitude to take towards the Panda Kingdom. Roar! Humans, you are looking for death. At this time, an angry roar suddenly sounded in the satellite live broadcast. At the same time, 2 demons with a height of tens of meters and a sturdy body were rushing towards the team led by Xiao Fan and Long Wu. The huge souls of the 2 demons stepped on the ground, like an earthquake, making a deafening sound, making people feel a tremor in their hearts through the screen. Hiss! An SSS-level demon has appeared, and there are 2 of them at once. Seeing the huge figures of the 2 demons, countless viewers in front of the screen couldn't help but gasp. Chapter 75 An Unexpected Discovery, The Soul of Heaven. In the world of demon resurrection, the levels of demons and superpowers are also divided into E, D, C, B, A, S, SS, SSS and other levels. Superpowers at the SSS level are also called guardian level. In other words, this time there are 2 guardian-level demons that are directly killing Xiao Fan and others. What surprised everyone even more was that the 2 demons rushed directly towards Xiao Fan as soon as they came up, as if they were going to get rid of Xiao Fan first. Seeing 2 demons comparable to the 7th-level monsters, Xiao Fan was not surprised but happy. In Xiao Fan's eyes, these 2 demons are energy to improve strength. Xiao Fan had previously experimented with the efficiency of directly using the heaven-swallowing and earth-swallowing divine power to devour and refine the monsters to improve strength, which is slightly better than using points. Therefore, Xiao Fan has decided to devour and refine these 2 monsters. Mr. Zhao, I'll help you. Seeing 2 demons comparable to the guardian level coming, Long Wu's face was very serious. He shouted and quickly flew towards Xiao Fan's position. Xiao Fan said calmly, "Thank you for your kindness, Mr. Long, but it's okay. You should look after the others." When Long Wu heard what Xiao Fan said, he frowned slightly, thinking that Xiao Fan was a little too arrogant. After all, he didn't have much chance of winning against monsters of the same level. Long Wu felt that Xiao Fan was stronger in the method of using thunder to attack monsters in groups, and as for his cultivation strength, he might be slightly inferior to himself. After all, Xiao Fan was too young. However, since Xiao Fan proposed not to let him help, it seemed a bit inappropriate for him to rush forward directly, so Long Wu planned to get close to Xiao Fan, and scout the formation for Xiao Fan on the side, ready to take action at any time. However, Long Wu soon discovered how ridiculous his idea was. Xiao Fan suddenly opened his hands, and a black vortex full of dangerous aura appeared in his 2 palms. But in a moment, the 2 terrifying monsters were directly swallowed by the 2 black vortices in Xiao Fan's palms. Hiss! Seeing this scene, Not only Long Wu, but also all the special department members around him, even Zhu Yuanzhang and other chat group members, couldn't help but take a breath. At the same time, in the world of demon resurrection, countless people in front of the screen were all shocked. Fuck, who is that young man? He is too strong. 2 powerful demons at the guardian level were killed by him. I'm afraid this person is invincible in the world. So strong. If I can have half of his strength, I will be satisfied. This young man looks less than 20 years old. He is really a monster. Not only countless ordinary people around the world were shocked, but also the top leaders of countries around the world were shocked when they saw the images on the screen. It seems that the attitude towards that country must be changed. At the same time, in the world of demon resurrection, the top leaders of most countries made the same decision, that is, to make friends with the country where Xiaoxiao is. Of course, very few countries are still fantasizing about how to eliminate Xiao Fan, a powerful threat. Xiao Fan ignored the thoughts of others. After using the heaven-devouring and earth-devouring divine power to refine the 2 SSS-level demons, he immediately sensed a stream of pure energy from each of his palms, pouring into his body. Xiao Fan did not hesitate at all and directly operated the Thunder Emperor technique to refine all the energy. However, in a moment, Xiao Fan's cultivation level soared from the 7-star Zong to the 9-star Zong, and he had already reached the limit of the Zong. Even if he no longer relied on any external objects, Xiao Fan only needed to calm down and retreat for a period of time, and it would not take long for him to break through the Zun realm. After all, he had already mastered the spatial force that only Zun could master. However, what surprised Xiao Fan was that the 2 demons actually counterattacked him before they died. What they counterattacked was Xiao Fan's soul. Unfortunately, Xiao Fan's soul was too strong, and their counterattacks did not bring any harm to Xiao Fan, but were crushed by Xiao Fan's soul. That's how it is. Xiao Fan refined some messy soul fragments, but suddenly made an unexpected discovery. It turned out that there was a demon leader behind these demons, and their leader was hiding somewhere in that worm-shaped country. Xiao Fan was somewhat interested in the demon leader. After a little hesitation, Xiao Fan said to everyone, "The strongest demon in this area has been killed by me. The remaining ones should not be a threat to you. I have to leave in advance." After speaking, without waiting for everyone to react, Xiao Fan directly used his space shuttle ability to break a space wormhole in front of him, and disappeared in front of everyone in an instant. Is this the legendary space shuttle? Long Wu was shocked again when he saw Xiao Fan's action. Countless people in front of the screen were also shocked beyond words by Xiao Fan's move. Fuck, are they filming a movie? Does space travel really exist? Can anyone tell me if this is true or false? Isn't space travel a power that only exists in novels and movies? This is too unscientific. There are demons everywhere, and you still tell me about science? In the world of demon resurrection, countless people were shocked and heatedly discussing. Xiao Fan had used space travel to come to the source of demon resurrection, Radiation Island. Under this island, there is a mysterious and dark palace. From the depths of the palace, a mysterious substance is constantly being released, blending into the water source, and then gradually merging into the sea. Human, who gave you the courage to break into the territory of this god? Not long after Xiao Fan stepped into the dark palace, a voice was transmitted directly to his soul. Xiao Fan sneered, "These days, can any cat or dog be called a god?" Some time ago, this young master slaughtered a few so-called gods. Hearing Xiao Fan's words, a soul wave came from the palace again. "How dare you!" Xiao Fan's soul also received such a sentence, and it seemed to be accompanied by a soul attack. Soul attack? I can do it too. Xiao Fan smiled faintly and immediately launched a counterattack through his soul. Squeak! The next moment, Xiao Fan heard a scream of pain from deep in the palace. Huh? Why does this sound like a rat? Hearing the sound, Xiao Fan couldn't help but be a little surprised. He whispered in his mouth, and at the same time, his figure flashed, and soon he arrived at the source of the sound. In the middle of the palace, dozens of large lard barrels were placed in a mess. On one of the lard barrels, there was a rat as big as an adult black pig. At this moment, the rat's eyes were staring at Xiao Fan fiercely, full of human resentment and murderous intent. "Oh, it's really a rat? How ridiculous. I didn't expect that a rat would be the source of the demon's revival. Xiao Fan looked at the huge black rat and couldn't help but feel funny. However, this rat has the strength comparable to that of a 9-starred Zong, and its soul strength is almost catching up with Xiao Fan. Squeak! Hearing Xiao Fan's words, the rat cried again, its eyes full of anger. Xiao Fan was too lazy to pay attention to it, and opened his right hand again. A swallowing vortex appeared in his palm, and a strong suction rushed towards the rat. Squeak! The huge rat screamed, but it was unable to resist and was soon sucked into the swallowing vortex in Xiao Fan's palm. Boom! At this moment, Xiao Fan felt a sudden roar in his mind. It turned out that before the rat died, it used some means to get its soul out of its body, invaded Xiao Fan's mind, and chose to explode directly. Damn, I was careless. Xiao Fan's face turned slightly pale when his soul was attacked. He cursed angrily, and quickly sat down cross-legged, running the soul refining technique to start recuperating his soul. Half an hour later, Xiao Fan let out a long breath, slowly opened his eyes, and a look of joy flashed across his face. I didn't expect that this time. It was a blessing in disguise. My soul realm finally broke through to the heavenly realm. Xiao Fan had signed into the 7-color soul crystal in the Duo world before. After refining a part of it, his soul broke through to the great perfection of the spiritual realm. However, no matter how he practiced during this period of time, he still failed to break through to the heavenly realm. Xiao Fan didn't expect that this time, under the stimulation of the self-explosion of the Moon-Trad demon soul, his soul realm finally got a breakthrough. When Xiao Fan used the soul refining technique to recuperate his soul, he directly refined and absorbed the soul energy of the rat. Afterwards, Xiao Fan was ready to remove the messy memories of the demon rat. Is that so? Just as he was about to remove those memories, Xiao Fan suddenly found something more interesting in it. In the last chapter, I felt that I didn't write anything, and it was blocked. I dare not write more about the demon revival world. I will end it as soon as possible. The next chapter will be concluded, and then I will return to the key world and prepare to conquer Queen Medusa finally. I still ask for a wave of support, recommendation tickets, monthly tickets, 5-star praise, rewards, etc. Any data is fine. Thank you all for supporting this book. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.